What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 5KC 101 Gojo Satoru is sealed. Xia Youjie. I can do it again. Although the locust monster has realized that the person opposite is very smart, he still wants to confirm it from Bai Ye. What kind are you, smart or not smart? I am very smart. While the locust monster asked questions, he did not forget to emphasize his intelligence again. However, Bai Ye's expression remained the same, and he said calmly, "Smart people never boast that they are smart." Alas, the locust monster made an unpleasant sound, and then covered its mouth with both hands, looking pale with shock. Open black lens bracket is. Is that so? Close black lens bracket. But without waiting for him to think more, Bai Ye finally concentrated his spell power on his fist. 10-stroke curse. Boom. Punch. Just one punch. Smash the locust monster's entire head into pieces. Without hurting the rest of his body, after a fatal blow, Bai Ye waved his hand casually, and the entrusting tent was destroyed by Bai Ye. Then, it's time to see Shire next. Bai Ye is still somewhat worried about Shire. It's not that he is worried that he will lose, but that he will be shaken after seeing Fu Hei. After all, for the task assigned to him this time, Shire will meet Huo Hei. There may even be conflicts. Let's go and have a look. Shibuya subway station. Luhu was scurrying around in the crowd, trying her best to avoid Gojo Satoru's attack. And the bulging phase is hidden in the crowd and hardly takes a shot. This also caused the dissatisfaction of Luhu, who had reached the limit. Bloating. If you plan to stand by and watch, I will kill you first. The bulging phase that can't catch up with Bai Ye can only helplessly. But even with him, Wu Tiaoyu is still easy. Instead, the two of them fell into a disadvantage. Hold on for another moment. The sound of the subway came from the tunnel. Hearing this ear-piercing and unpleasant sound, Luhu felt as if he had found a treasure. Advertisement, finally here, real rescue is here. He could finally breathe a sigh of relief. And the others were also overjoyed when they saw the subway coming, and many people rushed to get on the subway. However, when they squeezed to the front with great difficulty and waited for the BFEA subway to stop, everyone's expressions changed drastically. People in the subway can no longer be called human beings, but a terrifying monster. Drop. The door of the car opened with a sound, and one by one transformed spell spirits swarmed out of the car. Seeing the mantra on the subway, Gojo Satoru's expression was dignified, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. Open black lens bracket. Sure enough, it is exactly as Mr. Bai Ye guessed, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Seal it. Just let you be proud for a while, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. After all, Teacher Bai Ye has promised me that he will rescue me soon, and as long as I do, he is willing to meet with Knotweed and the others. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Nothing can stop that moment. Close black lens bracket. After a moment of silence, a strong and dangerous aura suddenly appeared from Gojo Satoru. The Taoist, who was still complacent, was stunned for a moment when he was still proud. No, the breath of terror swept over everything. On the premise of ensuring that ordinary people are not hurt, Gojo Satoru expanded the 0.2-second field. The three of them stood still for an instant, and what they saw in their eyes and what they heard in their ears were continuously coming in. But what they got in the end seemed to be blank, nothing but a void of space. As for the other transforming spell spirits, they passed out instantly. Then, within 299 seconds after the domain was released, Gojo Satoru completely wiped out the group of about 1,000 modified spell spirits that were put in. But it is precisely because of this that the conditions for activating the prison gate are met. Within the seal range with a radius of 4 meters, and 1 minute of the time in Wujo Wu's brain. The prison gate. Open the door. Xia Youjie had cold sweat on his forehead, a wry smile hanging from the corner of his mouth, and threw the prison gate to Wujo Wu's feet. Looking at the square curse object in front of him, Gojo Satoru recognized at a glance that this was the prison gate that Bai Ye was talking about. There was an imperceptible smile on the corner of his mouth. Is this the thing? It doesn't look that scary. Close black lens bracket. As for the surprise Mr. Bai Ye mentioned, I don't understand it at all. Close black lens bracket. While he was thinking, a best friend who had spent 3 years of youth with him, but was killed by his own hands last year, a close friend, appeared in front of his eyes. Advertisement, Nani? Open black lens bracket. Counterfeit? Or transfiguration? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. No, it's him. Close black lens bracket. All guesses and possibilities are denied by 6 eyes. Xia Youjie's sudden appearance made Gojo Satoru confused for a moment, to the point where Bai Ye completely forgot what Bai Ye told him to act like a character. Also at this time, Gojo Wu's whole body was blocked by the prison gate. The magic power dissipated without a trace. But Gojo Satoru didn't care about these things at this time. he just widened his eyes and wanted to see through the guy in front of him through his 6 eyes. However, all the information obtained through 6 eyes shows that he is undoubtedly Xia Youjie. But Gojo Satoru knew very well that he was definitely not Xia Youjie. Who are you? I'm Xia Youjie, have you forgotten me? I'm so sad. After confirming the seal of Gojo Wu, Xia Youjie's hanging heart calmed down a little. Open black lens bracket. Even if the person named Bai Ye is here now, he will definitely not be able to stop the seal. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. However, it is really surprising. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The plan is going too smoothly. Close black lens bracket. After Gojo Wu was successfully sealed, Xia Youjie felt a little unreal. Perhaps it was because of too many failures due to the appearance of Bai Ye before. That's why he felt that this time it went too smoothly. I even began to wonder if there was a conspiracy in this. Open black lens bracket. Impossible. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The seals are all done by me. Even if he has any conspiracy, he will never let the 5 words be sealed by us on purpose. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. So, this is his mistake. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. In this way, it is not impossible to defeat him. Close black lens bracket. As long as you catch his mistakes, there is a great chance. Close black lens bracket. Xia Youjie couldn't help but think a little more, and instantly felt that he saw the hope of victory. At the same time, on the ceiling, Jiwan, who has been lurking here, sent a report to Bai Ye. Master Bai Ye, the plan is going smoothly. Gojo Satoru has been sealed. Well, after the seal is completed, you should start acting according to the plan. Yes. None of Xia Youjie and the others noticed. Their every move was in Bai Ye's sight. 102 Plan execution. Changes in Prison Gate and Borderlands. Subscription required. The body and mana are indeed Xia Youjie, but my soul denies all of this. Answer me quickly. Who are you? Gojo Satoru, who was blocked from moving by the prison gate, said excitedly. Hiss. Xia Youjie, who didn't realize that he was being peeped at, hesitated for a few seconds, and then gently pulled the suture on his forehead. Nano. How on earth do you know? Lift the skull to reveal the brainflower hidden in it. There is also a horrifying mouth on the brainflower, and it is making a sound at this time. There is a kind of magician who can exchange the body by transplanting the brain, and of course can also use the operation formula memorized in the body. Didn't your master tell you about this? I've been envious of Xia Youjie's mantra for a long time, and the other reason is for this moment. Although it is somewhat regrettable that you two, master and apprentice, could not be sealed together, at least one of them was sealed. As far as the outcome goes, it's a blessing in disguise. While Xia Youjie explained, he was also faintly worried. From the beginning to the end, he felt very unreal. One thing is for sure, Bai Ye most likely knows what he's going to do next. But why didn't Bai Ye stop it? Xia Youjie thought for a long time, but he still didn't get the answer, so he simply sealed Wu Tiao Wu first. At least in this way, greatly weakening one's own resistance. What he will face next is no longer 2 opponents that he can't catch up with. Don't worry, the seal will be lifted. But wait until 100 years. No, maybe 1,000 years later. It's all because you are too strong, it will hinder my purpose. Besides, your master knew about sealing you, but he didn't save you. When Xia Youjie said this, he deliberately paused. Do you understand the meaning? You are just an abandoned son, your master doesn't care about you. Hearing Xia Youjie's declaration like a winner, an imperceptible smile flashed across the corner of Wu Tiaoyu. Then he immediately covered it with an unbelievable look. Impossible. Teacher Bai Ye is definitely not the kind of person you said. Did you forget, before I killed him, who beat his body seriously? Advertisement. Even if Teacher Bai Ye deceived me, you will never succeed. Gojo Satoru's performance was broadcast by Jijiwan, and Bai Ye saw everything in his eyes. He couldn't help but nodded slightly. The acting skills this time are very good, it seems that I have thought about it carefully. After making such a comment, Bai Ye turned off the broadcast, and the 3 people standing on the top floor of a tall building looked at the opposite building and couldn't help but chuckle. As for Jiwan, the time has come, according to the pre-established plan, start to take action. A miniature mechanical pill flew to the side of the knotweed. The size of an earphone was just enough to hang completely on the ear of the knotweed. Wow! The sudden mini mechanical pill startled the knotweed. Just as he was about to reach out to pick it up, the miniature mechanical handle made a sound. Can you hear it? Knotweed Yujin. Listen carefully. Before the mechanical pill finished speaking, it was torn off by the knotweed stick, and the palm of the hand pinched it hard, almost crushing the mini mechanical pill. Wait, I'm your companion, stupid. Gigi Wan didn't expect that Polygonum cuspidatum could be so fierce, and wanted to crush him without asking any questions. He hurriedly revealed his identity and said, I'm Jijimaru from Kyoto School. Hearing that it was a mechanical pill, Polygonum cuspidatum let go of his hand. As for Jiwan, he couldn't help heaving a sigh of relief after being relieved. Open black lens bracket. This guy with knotweed. Close black lens bracket. There's no time, I'll just say it once, listen carefully. The voice of mechanical pill suddenly became serious. Gojo Satoru is sealed. Jijiwan's words made the knotweed, Mingming and Yu all fall into silence for a while. All three showed expressions of disbelief. He is Wuju. Do you want us to believe you? What is the basis? Mingming couldn't help asking. That's right. How could the fifth meeting be easily sealed? And, haven't you already betrayed the high school? Although Gaojan has determined that Jijiwan is dead, but this news has not had time to be announced. Asking for flowers. 0. The information knotweed and the others have is still the previous news. As for Yu on the side, although he didn't believe that Gojo Satoru would be sealed, he seemed somewhat happy. Advertisement. You deserve it. Who made you so extravagant to let your sister back you up? Regarding their questions, Jijiwan took no time to rush, and said step by step. Sorry, no. But if you have to say it, I'm here. I was killed on October 19th by a special magic spirit named Taoist. The me now is just the insurance I left behind during my lifetime. And the condition to activate me is, Gojo Satoru is sealed. Nani? X3. 0. After Jijiwan finished speaking, the three of them asked a question at the same time, and their expressions suddenly became serious. It never occurred to me that Jiwan was dead. Of course, the real Jiwan did not die, and became Bai Ye's subordinate. However, spreading the news of the death of the mechanical pill is one of the plans. The basement 5th floor of Shibuya subway station. With a bang, the prison gate closed. Gojo Satoru's seal has been completed. After taking over the prison gate, Xia Youjie took it in his hand and weighed it lightly for a few times, and then confirmed it several times before he felt relieved. The real person on the side also leaned over curiously. Is that no longer usable? From his eyes, you can see the obvious expectation. Open black lens bracket. Let's seal that guy in as well. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I never want to see that guy again. Close black lens bracket. The real man prayed secretly in his heart, but Xia Youjie's next words shattered his expectations. There is a limit of one person, unless the person inside dies, otherwise it can no longer be used. Anyway, the seal has been completed. Just as Xia Youjie's voice fell, the prison gate in his hand suddenly changed. Trembling for no reason, then, it fell out of Xia Youjie's hand with a swish. It fell to the ground as if it weighed 1,000 caddies. The floor was smashed into a big hole by the prison gate that was only the size of a palm. 103. Even when you are offline, you have to pretend to be aggressive, the real fake. Just when Xia Youjie and the others looked at a loss, the 6 sides of the cube-shaped prison gate opened pairs of eyes at the same time. You can see the bright starry sky in those eyes, incomparably clear. It is the 6 eyes of Gojo Satoru. Nani? They still haven't realized what happened. But Xia Youjie is different. After all, he is a guy who has lived through several eras, and he quickly understood the situation in front of him. But he was also taken aback. Good guy. Xia Youjie clenched his teeth. Can't even the prison gate handle your information for a while? I really can't imagine. If the prison gate is sealed by that person, what will happen? A string of 550 beads of sweat could not help but appear on Xia Youjie's forehead, and he dared not imagine that kind of scene. It takes so much effort to seal a super-level curse like prison gate, Wujo Wu, if it is used to seal Bai Ye. Open black lens bracket. Maximum 50% success rate. Close black lens bracket. This was what Xia Youjie was thinking at this moment. And this probability is still after determining the probability of Bai Ye's action in the prison gate. That is to say, in Xia Youjie's heart, there is a 50% chance that the prison gate will be destroyed because it can't handle Bai Ye's information. Suddenly, he felt relieved. He was even a little thankful that it was Gojo Satoru instead of Bai Ye that he sealed. Otherwise, there is a great possibility that no one can seal it. But it also made him more afraid of Bai Ye. Open black lens bracket. That guy must not be provoked easily. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The next time you meet him, it's better to run away first. Close black lens bracket. Xia Youjie made 2 decisions in his mind. At this time, a voice of Wu Tiao also came from the prison gate. Advertisement. Physical time doesn't seem to pass. I'm looking forward to your performance, everyone. Open black lens bracket. After all, this is your final exam. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. At the same time, it is also an assessment for me by teacher Bai Ye. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Let me be sealed here on purpose to prevent the students from being unable to use the full calendar because they think of me as a reliance, right? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Teacher Bai Ye thinks too far ahead. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I'm really not as good as teacher Bai Ye, I just understand such a simple truth now. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Everyone who passes this exam, you will grow into a qualified conjurer. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. No matter where the teacher is, I will cheer for you. Close black lens bracket. Apart from Gojo Satoru's internal monologue, his voice sounds relaxed and not in a hurry. And his voice reached everyone's ears. On the roof. Bai Ye did not copy the surrounding environment this time, but just stood calmly on the edge of the roof. Letting the breeze blow, Bai Ye smiled slightly. He is really a man who is sealed and does not delay pretending. As expected of the sealing of combat power, a real brute force. Bai Ye couldn't help sighing. Knotweed here. After Jijiwan's explanation, the three realized the criticality of the situation, and quickly agreed with Jijiwan's suggestion. Adopt his tactics. Just when they were about to split up, the curse master mentioned by Jijiwan appeared in the subway tunnel with a curse spirit. The cursor shouted with an arrogant look on his face, "You are Mingming, right?" As soon as he appeared on the stage, he called names arrogantly and domineeringly, with an expression of eagerness to try. But Mingming also seemed a little happy. It seemed to be the desire for fighting. "Knotweed, you can do whatever you want, and we will cooperate with you." Mingming drew a giant axe from behind. The huge axe was completely out of proportion to her slender arms, and it was hard to imagine that it was her spell tool. Knotweed looked at the curse master and curse spirit in front of him, and moved his fingers, ready to pass through. 2122. Advertisement outside Shibuya subway station. 3 conjurer squads led by 3 first-level sorcerers broke in at the same time. These 3 first-level sorcerers are Kusakabe Toshiya, Chanyuen Jibiran, and Nanami Kento. And shortly after they respectively acted and entered. Knotweed, who escaped and was rushing to Shibuya subway station, also came nearby. After taking a deep breath, Knotweed suddenly shouted, "Qihai! Is Nanami Kai here?" The Qihai team, who was preparing to act, was all stunned when they heard the shout. Team member Fuguro Megumi and Ino Takuma stiffened immediately, looking back at Nanami Jianren mechanically. And Qihai's face was gloomy at this time, as if the Knotweed stick would give him a blast if he was in front of him. However, the cries of Knotweed are not over yet. Teacher Wu Tiao is sealed. Hearing this sentence, the 3 of them were shocked. Seal? Fu Hei still couldn't believe it, but Qihai didn't doubt the words of the Knotweed at all, and directly changed the plan, saying, "You too, the plan has changed, because you meet with Hukken. Gojo Satoru is sealed, and everyone in this country will be in great trouble. Gojo Satoru is here." After the mechanical pill ended the broadcast, he was planning to recover the mini-mechanical pill, but he didn't want to make any noise when he retreated. This mistake was instantly noticed by Xia Youjie and the others, who were instantly smashed into pieces and scrapped immediately. But the mechanical pill is not a pity. He can make as many puppets of the 5.9 levels as he wants. That's right, I almost forgot to tell Polygonum Cuspidatum the news. Soon, Hu received the news from Jijiwan that Xia Youjie and the others had nothing to do with the sealed Gojo Satoru for the time being. After notifying the Knotweed, Jijiwan also thought in his heart, Mr. Wu Tiao is worthy of being Master Bai Ye's disciple. Even if he is sealed, he can restrain the enemy. And this also strengthened Jiwan's idea of following Bai Ye, and his death of admiration for Bai Ye. Open black lens bracket. Even Gojo Satoru is Master Bai Ye's disciple, so I will be able to protect everyone if I follow Master Bai Ye. Close black lens bracket. 104 Winning Sunuo, Bai Ye's back view. The 5th basement floor of Shibuya subway station. Xia Youjie, Zhenren, Tuo Liang, Hua Yu and Dang Shang gathered together. Discuss future countermeasures around the prison gate. Regarding the leaked information just now, the real person seemed very nervous. His eyes were always wandering around, as if he was looking for something. The big thing is not good. The situation on our side has been exposed, and the magicians will gather all their strength and swarm here. Sheo. The goal has been achieved. Shall we withdraw first? The real person pleaded earnestly. He is really scared now, worried that he will run into Bai Ye inadvertently. It would be fine if he was killed directly, but the other party only tortured him every time and had no intention of killing him. This was what frightened him the most. However, Xia Youjie and the others are not afraid? But Xia Youjie has a reason to stay here. He must reclaim the prison gate. Otherwise, everything you do will be in vain. After pondering for a while, Xia Youjie said, "I want to stay here. What are your plans?" "I'm going to kill that guy named Bai Ye, avenge my younger brothers, and then take back the other younger brothers in Gao Zhuan's custody," Zhang Shang said coldly. "I don't care if you want to die, but you must not shoot the Knotweed," Hua Yu warned. "Let the Knotweed transform into Su Nuo." In this way, the absolute guy, facing Hua Yu's warning, Zhang Shang looked indifferent, and replied coldly. "Then I don't care, if he interferes with my revenge for my brother, I will kill him." Huh? Hua Yu was furious. "Do you want to fight?" The atmosphere between the two suddenly became tense. Seeing that the two were about to fight, it was as if the real person suddenly saw hope. He leaned in front of the two and said excitedly, "Yes, yes, yes. Why did I forget about Sunuo? As long as we win over Sunuo, we have the hope of winning. Furthermore, what Aowu is sealed now. If Sunuo is counted, our combat strength can at least be compared to that of a conjurer. The premise is that if you can win over Sunuo." Xia Youjie poured cold water on the real person. "In this way, we have to do it to win over Sunuo," Hua Yu also said heavily beside him. Advertisement, then let's act quickly. The real man couldn't wait, find the knotweed stick, and then hand over your fingers to let Sunuo regain his strength. Right now, a large number of magicians, including the knotweed, are rushing towards the 5th underground floor to rescue Wuzhou Wu. Instead of waiting here for them to come to our door, it is better for us to take the initiative, so that we can find the knotweed earlier. After a wave of analysis, several people ran out along the steps back and forth. Finding knotweed and attracting Sunuo is their top priority now. Soon, Hua Yu and others left, leaving Youjie alone. Suddenly, he found two girls popping out of the crowd. And the two girls looked at him very fiercely. They are Nanako and Mimiko, who give Xia Youjie the opportunity to betray Gaojan. "Give it back to us. We have been providing assistance to you all the time. Kill those monkeys, and return Master Xia Yu's body to us as agreed. You are not allowed to continue playing with Mr. Xia Yu." For the request made by Nanako and Mimiko, Xia Youjie just glanced coldly. "How could it be returned to you? I don't remember ever emptying your heads together. Remember it, next time you make an agreement with the magician, you must set up a restraint. Go away, I don't have time to deal with you now, or do you want to die under the hands of this flesh? You will regret this." As for Luo Suo, who was going back on his word, the two sisters had nothing to do with him, so they had to cast a bitter look at Luo Suo and left quickly after leaving a word. Rosso didn't bother to pay attention to them. To him, they were just insignificant characters and he didn't pay attention to them at all. After the two sisters left here, they were in a quiet corner. Nanako took out a picture with nostalgia on her face, looked at the back of the figure in the picture and said expectantly, "Mimiko, let's go find this person. Master Xia Yu once said that this person is the person he admires the most, and has a strength that Master Xia Yu can't match. As long as you find him." Nanako didn't finish her sentence, but just looked at Mimiko resolutely. Advertisement and Mimiko understood what she meant. "Are you asking for help from this person?" Nanako nodded heavily. "But we only have a picture of this person's back. Can we really find him?" "It's definitely possible," Nanako said firmly. "As long as I can help us regain Xia Yu's body, I am willing to put in a lifetime of hard work." "I would too," Mimiko echoed. "Then let's go find him." The two sisters quickly made a decision and set out on the road to find Bai Ye. 837 on the side of the knotweed, they joined Qihai and the others at this time, still shouting at the top of their voices. 7 C's. 7. C. C. T. Snap. Hey. Stop barking. Just when the knotweed was about to shout, he was hit on the head suddenly, and then a familiar voice came from behind him. Needless to say, Knotweed had already recognized who was behind him from the voice. Looking back, it really was Qihai Jianren. And, "Who are you?" Knotweed first called out their names in surprise, and then looked at Ino Takuma, who was standing beside Qihai, and asked. Although the other party didn't recognize him, Ino Takuma wasn't angry. Instead he snickered and said, "It seems that Nanami really refers to Mr. Nanami." Although Qihai is a little unhappy, but now is not the time to care about these things. After merging, they quickly exchanged information. After Qihai analyzed the information, he quickly arranged a task for Knotweed and the others to remove the tent that prevented the master from entering. And he himself is going to complete a few tasks that are only assigned to him. 105 He can do this kind of thing, and all parties are ready to move. As the oldest of the three, Ino Takuma was naturally given a heavy responsibility by Nanami. Unsurprisingly, Qihai asked to protect Qihai and Knotweed. As the big brother, Takuma Ino is naturally duty-bound, so he agreed immediately. After Qihai left, Ino Takuma walked aside alone, and couldn't help but shed tears of emotion. Open black lens bracket. Mr. Nanami entrusted me with such an important task. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I must not live up to his expectations. Close black lens bracket. With his back to Knotweed and Qihai, Ino Takuma quickly wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, and then put on a decent gesture and said, "You too. The matter is of great importance. I have something to explain to you before the mission begins. These are the two things that will cause great headaches if Mr. Gojo is gone. One of the fall of the Gojo family. The Gojo clan is a force centered on Wuzhou Wuyiren, and there are many magicians who were saved by Mr. Gojo's change. You are also one of the Knotweed sticks, right?" "That's right," Knotweed immediately replied. Regarding Knotweed's reaction, Ino Takuma nodded in satisfaction, and then continued. These people will become at a loss because they lost their target. Worst case will be wiped out directly. Hearing this sentence, Polygonum Cuspidatum showed a puzzled expression, and even Tianhei frowned slightly. But Takuma Ino didn't care, and continued. The second is the collapse of the balance of power. Those curse masters and curse spirits who died because of the existence of Mr. Gojo will come out in full force. If these 2 points are met at the same time, we will definitely lose. What Ino Takuma said really meant something, but Knotweed didn't feel a little nervous. Senior Ino, the situation you mentioned won't happen, right? Doesn't Gojo-sensei still have an idol? I heard that he is super strong, even stronger than Gojo-sensei. He should be considered a member of the Gojo family, right? With his chin raised, he said with a serious look on his face. Advertisement Fu-hei on the side also nodded following what the Knotweed said. Alas! Ino Takuma was shocked by what the Knotweed said. Open black lens bracket Nani? Gojo-san still has an idol? And super strong? Stronger than Gojo-san? Close black lens bracket? Open black lens bracket. Does such a guy really exist? I don't even know. Close black lens bracket. Ino Takuma was a little embarrassed. He really didn't know this news, because Bai Ye was too low-key. Although he didn't quite believe it, he still asked, who did you listen to? Of course it's Mr. Gojo himself. He's said it hundreds of times. No, it should have been thousands of times. Hu Zhang scratched his head and said. Then he recalled every time Gojo Satoru promised them that he would see that idol soon. Fu-hei on the side still nodded following the words of the Knotweed. But this time, the worry in his eyebrows can be clearly seen. Open black lens bracket. I don't know where that person is now. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. If you can find the idol that Wujo-sensei mentioned, you should be able to defeat that guy, right? Close black lens bracket. Fu-hei couldn't help recalling Bai Ye's back in his mind, and now he can only pray for Gojo Satoru's idol to defeat Yu Yi's strength. Really? Ino Takuma still couldn't believe it, but he chose to believe it for the time being when he saw Fugaro's serious look. If the person you mentioned really exists and is a member of the Gojo family, maybe this crisis can be easily overcome. By the way, can you guys contact him? If you ask him to help, he should be able to save Mr. Wujo. Ino Takuma looked at the two expectantly, but from the expressions of Knotweed and Fu-hei, he already knew that this was impossible. Unfortunately, we have never met him, and I am looking for him, Fu-hei said helplessly. In the end, this is just the words of teacher Wu Tiao alone. Maybe the other party doesn't know him at all. As soon as Fu-hei's voice fell, Ino Takuma nodded approvingly. Gojo Satoru is notorious for his capriciousness. Maybe Gojo Satoru just unilaterally regards others as idols, but the other party doesn't know him at all, or they don't have any relationship with him. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket. He can do this kind of thing. Close black lens bracket. For some reason, such a sentence appeared in the minds of Notobazu and Ino. After a while of silence, Ino said again, if that's the case, let's try to see it first. If it is true what Fu-hei said, the era of mankind may come to an end. In short, no matter what, our task now is to release the temporary to prevent sorcerers from entering. Oh, Polygonum Cuspidatum responded energetically. Ino also pulled himself together, patted the shoulders of the two of them and said, let's go, lovely juniors. We're going to completely destroy the tent before Nanami-san comes back. Gojo Satoru must be rescued. Shibuya Tower. As one of the two tallest buildings, this place was selected as the best place to set up the entrustment account because the top floor is flat and wide. At this time, Granny Agami, who is in charge of protecting the tent, Long Hao Zhao, and her grandson, Master, are here. Awasaka, did you hear that Gojo-sensei is sealed? Just now? Our intelligence was leaked to the enemy. The mother-in-law of the tail god holds a rosary in her hand, and there is no joy or sorrow on her old face. But Awasaka, who was standing aside, was different. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised, and he looked much more relaxed and confident than before. What does that matter? Thanks to that sound, I finally have a real feeling. It seems that Gojo Satoru has really been sealed, which is really exciting. At this time, they were chatting, and they didn't notice that there was a person on the top floor of one of the two tallest buildings watching them from afar. And beside him, there was another figure standing there. 106 Bai Ye is dispatched to awaken the fear in the bottom of my heart, please customize. In front of the tent where magicians are forbidden to enter, the three of Polygonum Cuspidatum gathered together to analyze the existing information. Combined with the discovery of Knotweed in Harajuku, they quickly deduced the current situation. The foundation of the tent is set on the outside of the tent, and it is still in a very conspicuous position. The three quickly locked their sights on the two tallest buildings. And at this time, they are under the S tower. Fu-hei glanced at the height of the floor, and then summoned a flying Shikigami with his hands in mudra. The three of them jumped on Nu's back and flew straight to the roof of the building while riding Nu. And at this time, Awasaka Erlang and the other three were still discussing whether they would be discovered by the magician. I don't know if it will be discovered by the magician? If you want to say that the most eye-catching place in this tent is here, right? Probably. But what if they find out? There are countless modified human beings arranged in the building, and it is not so easy for them to get to the top floor. Just as the three of them were discussing loudly, a burst of wind sounded from behind them. The three of them were stunned for a moment. Before they had time to look back, a person carrying pig and knotweed appeared above their heads. Immediately afterwards, the two jumped off separately. And the knotweed still held a steel wire in his hand, and directly pushed Erlang Awasaka, who couldn't avoid it, to the top of the building. Divide the battlefield. 310. This is the plan that the three of them made before they acted. At this time, on the roof, only Grandma Taigami and her grandson were left to confront Takuma Ino. And downstairs, it was Fuhei and Knotweed confronting Erlang Awasaka. Another tall building. Bai Ye called softly. Who was standing beside him, already understood without saying anything unnecessary. I see. After finished speaking, he walked away slowly. Advertisement. The bottom of Tower S. Awasaka Erlang fell to the ground with a bang, but there was no splash of blood, but a burst of dust. At a height of 41 floors, not to mention ordinary people, even a magician would not be able to fall from it unscathed. But Ario Awasaka looked intact. After Fuhei and Polygonum Cuspidatum met, the two looked at Awasaka Erlang, who was lying motionless but looked very strange in front of them. Both of them were a little surprised. Is he dead? Although he couldn't believe it, Polygonum Cuspidatum subconsciously asked. Fu Heiwei replied solemnly, I didn't witness the moment he landed with my own eyes. The corpse is too neat, it doesn't look like it fell to death at all. Get up, old fox, Fu Hei gave a cold shout, and at the same time, he summoned Shikigami with his hands in mudra. Knowing that his plot had been seen through, and it was useless to continue pretending, Awasaka Erlang slowly got up and said lazily, Oh, really, don't young people nowadays know what it means to respect the old? After standing up, Erlang Awasaka slowly exerted strength, his muscles bulged, and soon he heard a tight sound from the wire rope. Papa Tower, the wire rope was directly broken. Enough to see the physical strength of Erlang Awasaka. Seeing this, the two couldn't help but dignify their expressions. However, this does not prevent the two from making a move. Knotweed, we don't have much time to waste. Don't worry, it won't take much time. Facing the old fox with unknown spells, the two planned to join forces to hunt it down. However, the attacks of the two were all received by Awasaka Erlang, and it seemed that they did not cause any substantial damage to him. A wave of attacks ends. The two stood together, looking at Erlang Awasaka, who was full of energy. He couldn't help frowning slightly, and had doubts about his attack. The Jade Dog's BFDA claws are good for super, but for this guy. I just fought with all my strength, but why didn't I cause any damage? Time, no less. Another wave of fighting ended, and the two met again. At this time, the doubts in their hearts became heavier. What the hell is that guy? Advertisement. That's not something that can be explained by the phrase, strong resistance to blows. Knotweed became a little anxious. Fu Hei was also thinking silently in his heart. Open black lens bracket 9 out of 10 is related to that guy's spell. Is it the invalidation of the attack? Close black lens bracket. Suddenly, a flash of lightning flashed across Fu Hei's mind. Hey, Gojo Satoru has come to Shibuya, and there is a magician who is as strong as him with him. If you are sensible, put down the foundation of the tent and run for your life. Fu Hei intends to use Gojo Satoru in the name of the idol that Gojo Satoru said to scare off the opponent. But his bravado didn't help. Didn't the Wujo Satoru you called out just now be sealed? There was a hint of sarcasm at the corner of Awasaka Erlang's mouth. As for the existence that can rival Gojo Satoru, I haven't heard of it. Your bluff is too incompetent. It is precisely because they know that Gojo Satoru is sealed, so the curse masters dare to act as they please in this public place. If there is really someone who can match him, then everyone would have been hiding at home and sleeping. Do you want to fight again? If you don't want to fight anymore, then I will kill you. Awasaka Erlang hadn't finished speaking when a figure appeared in his sight that made his heart skip a beat. With just one glance, he felt a sharp pain in his eyes, uncontrollable goosebumps on his skin, and cold sweat running down his back. Looking like garbage. Cardiac arrest, body cells are resisting. This feeling. He is very familiar. The fear hidden in his heart was awakened again. Just like Wujo Wu came to the world back then, at this time, Awasaka Erlang only had fear in his heart, and only one word emerged in his mind, escape. Roof. The battle between Ino Takuma and Agami's mother-in-law has also begun. However, in the face of a quasi-first-level magician like Ino, who has to protect the mother-in-law who is unable to evade at all times, her grandson has no strength to fight back. Just one face-to-face is enough to hang the color on his body. The ensuing battle is almost one-sided, and the Ino family is really going to wipe out the two of them with all their might. However, during this period of time, Grandma Tail God's spirit seance was almost ready. And just when she was about to recite the last incantation, there was an extra figure on the platform where there were only 3 people. 107 Bai Ye makes a move, the sky and the tyrant appear. Although Awasaka Erlang knew what he had to do now, his legs didn't work at all. It was as if a heavy burden was weighing on him. The expression is very fearful. Only at this moment did he realize one thing: there really are people who can stand shoulder to shoulder with Gojo Satoru. His back and forth changes were naturally noticed by Fuhei and Polygonum Cuspidatum. But at this moment, they haven't found Bai Ye, who is walking towards them. Silently. By the time the two noticed someone, Bai Ye had already walked between them. The two were so scared that they immediately jumped aside and looked at Bai Ye warily. However, when they saw clearly, the expressions on their faces were different. Knotweed was surprised. Fuhei is dignified, but Bai Ye ignored the two of them and walked straight towards Erlang Awasaka. Is it a technique of reversing strength and weakness? That is to say, when the spell is activated, whenever you receive a stronger attack, the damage will become weaker, and the weaker the attack, the stronger the damage will be? Awasaka Erlang was shocked when he saw through the technique. Although it is theoretically a reversal of the rules of strength and weakness, it is within the specifications after all. And Bai Ye in front of him, he has an intuition. This guy is way above spec. That is to say, Bai Ye's attack cannot be dealt with by him with spells. Open black lens bracket. If you do it, he will die now. Close black lens bracket. Deeply aware of this, Erlang Awasaka put on a forced smile on his face and said, "Senior, please let me go this time. I promise I will never appear in front of you again. I am the only child in my family, and I wanted to earn more money so that my sick mother could live better, so I became a curse master. As long as you let me go, I will reform myself. And I have never killed innocent people indiscriminately." Erlang Awasaka was ready to speak such a lie, but how could Bai Ye be fooled? "You'd better keep these lies for yourself. The crimes I have committed must be redeemed with my life." After Bai Ye finished speaking, he had already appeared in front of Erlang Awasaka and patted him on the shoulder lightly. In action transformation. Awasaka Erlang couldn't dodge at all, he could only watch helplessly as his body continuously deformed and twisted. Eventually turned into a pile of rotten meat on the ground. Advertisement: "Is this dead? It seems that I have made a rough transformation." Bai Ye said something flat, and then he could glance at Fu Heiwei and Kunomura Yurin. Just this one glance shocked the two of them. Bai Ye's method is really terrible. If you shoot at them, there is no room for fighting back. But fortunately, they didn't sense any danger from Bai Ye. After Bai Ye left, the two breathed a sigh of relief. When they reacted, they realized that their backs were already wet with sweat. The expressions of the two are also different. Knotweed is a little curious and a little excited. Open black lens bracket. Amazing. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This person is really charming. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Not only powerful but also very cool. Close black lens bracket. Fuhei was full of doubts. Open black lens bracket. Is that guy an enemy or a friend? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. If it was the enemy, he didn't attack us, but helped us. But if it was the friend, why didn't he help Wutiao sensei? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. If he can make a move, definitely 5 patterns. Close black lens bracket. Fu Heiwei was puzzled. The top platform of Tower S. With Shear's appearance. Ino, who is fighting, Taigami mother-in-law and her grandson, who are about to complete the seance, are all trembling. Terrified all over the body, all of Ino's movements stopped. The eyes under the hood are round. Looking at Shi-er, who was still far away a second ago, but suddenly close at hand at this moment, he was so surprised that he forgot to dodge, but his mind was running fast. Open black lens bracket. This guy was transformed through a spirit spell. That old woman turned out to be a psychic witch. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. No, the crux of the problem is not this. Who is this guy? Is he a famous magician? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. From his standing posture alone, it can be seen that he is ridiculously strong. Close black lens bracket. Not only Ino Takumi was really surprised, especially the mother-in-law of the tail god, she was even more frightened after seeing the other party's appearance clearly. The eyes that could not be opened are also wide open, and with a mouth that has almost lost all teeth, he pointed at Shi-er and said inarticulately, You are Zenyuan Shire. Advertisement: It's the heaven and tyrant, Zenyuan Shire, who is known as the magician killer. Nani? When Ino Takuma heard the name Zenyuan Shire, his heart almost jumped out of his fear. Asking for flowers. 0. He has never met Shire, but Shire's record has been handed down to this day. The existence that almost killed Gojo Satoru. It is the only monster that defeats Gojo Satoru. Open black lens bracket. Isn't it rumored that he is already dead? Why is he still alive? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Looks like it should be a spirit spell. Just don't know if he is an enemy or a friend. Close black lens bracket. Ino Takuma's eyelids twitched. He was not sure about Shire's details, and he was planning to distance himself. However, before he could move, Shi-er knocked him unconscious with a knife in his hand. Go to sleep first. The fewer people who have seen me, the better. After Shi-er put Zhu Yi down, he looked coldly at the mother-in-law of the tail god, and walked forward step by step. Chanyuan Shire, I really didn't expect you to be alive. Just when Taishan's mother-in-law was planning to talk to prolong the time, Shi-er had already killed her grandson with one punch, and looked at her coldly. Wait. Zenyuan Shire. Are you a magician killer? Now Gojo Satoru has been sealed, and there is no need to hide anymore. As long as we work together, we can easily get rid of the magicians below. Live a free life from now on. Shi-er moved in front of Taishan's mother-in-law, and said coldly, You just wanted to kill the magician? You are also a magician, right? Puff. Before the mother-in-law of Tail God could finish her words, she was instantly killed by Shi-er. There is my son below. Shi-er glanced at the two people who were already dead, and muttered softly. Wiping off the blood on his body, Shi-er walked to the edge of the platform, looked at the tiny figure below and smiled slightly. And by his side, Bai Ye has unknowingly appeared here. If you want to meet Fu Hei, go and meet him. The opportunity is very rare. Bai Ye said softly. By the way, let's test his strength and see if he has fulfilled the promise he made to you. No, with Lord Bai Ye's guidance, his strength is beyond doubt, but I really want to take a closer look at him. Shi-er lowered his head slightly, as if he was asking Bai Ye. Go. Thank you Lord Bai Ye. After Shi-er thanked him, he slowly left. After he was the only one on the platform, Ko said softly, then it's time to collect the results. 108-9 Phase diagram of deep brotherly love, absorbing super curse, please order in full. Following Awasaka Ariyoshi and Agami Granny were defeated. The tent that prevents the magician from entering has been successfully lifted. When Fu Hei and Polygonum Cuspidatum returned to the roof, only 3 of them fell to the ground. Except that there was no blood around Ino, he looked no different from the other 2. Motionless as a dead body. Senior Ino, Knotweed rushed up to check Ino's breath. He was relieved to find out he was still alive. Senior Ino is still alive. There was no particularly serious injury, and it seemed that he just passed out. Fu Hei made a judgment after checking. Then the 2 made a new plan. Fu Hei, who can move quickly, took Ino to the safe place, 980, while Knotweed continued to go to the station. 2210. Knotweed finally reached the outskirts of Shibuya Station. At this time, Shibuya is already a purgatory on Earth. But Knotweed has no time for grief. Eliminate the curse encountered along the way, and then enter the platform. As soon as I walked down the steps, I collided with Bao who was walking out. The 2 were startled at the same time, guarding each other. Knotweed Urine. Do you also want to hinder me from avenging my brother? Shang said coldly, while preparing for the battle. Revenge for my brother? Hu Zhang looked at the unknown man in front of him, a little puzzled. Their names are Bloodstain and Masquerade. Ah, are you talking about the 2 of them? They did fight us. With these words, Hu Zhang's eyes widened, and his eyes were full of murderous intent. So, are you an accomplice? Bai Lian. Without waiting for Polygonum Cuspidatum to explain, and without unnecessary nonsense, Shang directly attacked Polygonum Cuspidatum. Advertisement Balian is a technique to pressurize the blood and compress it to the limit in the red blood operation. Blood piercing. Zhang Shang clasped his hands together, the compressed blood condensed at one point, and a blood arrow shot out from his fingertips. Whoosh! Before the sound comes, the cut comes first. The speed of the blood arrow is almost the speed of sound. Although the Knotweed was also on guard, the speed of the blood arrow was too fast, there was no time to dodge it, so he could only raise his hands to protect his forehead. But the attack power of the blood arrow was too strong, it directly pierced his arm. At the same time, the impact brought by the blood arrow made the Knotweed stick back several steps one after another. If he hadn't reacted in time, his head would have been pierced through. Received an unexplained attack, and it was still a nirvana, the Knotweed stopped talking nonsense, and started to fight back directly. Reason or something, wait until you defeat the opponent. This is the style of Knotweed. The battle between the 2 began. At this time, none of them noticed that there was another figure in the empty waiting hall. But the figure just disappeared in a flash, and didn't stay here for too long. After watching the battle between Knotweed and Swollen Phase, Bai Ye is back on the 5th basement of Shibuya. Not long ago, Xia Youjie released a special curse and just left. The battle between Mingming and Yu and the super-specific disease spell, Perpetuous God, is about to begin. In an instant, the herpes god directly expanded the field. Incorporate Mingming and worries into it. Then Bai Ye also destroyed the domain barrier from the outside and directly entered it. For the sudden appearance of Bai Ye, no matter whether it is Mingming or curse, they are very surprised. No one thought that someone would take the initiative to enter other people's fields. Rushing into the enemy's territory is tantamount to throwing yourself into a trap. But they all had a feeling that the person in front of them was not the kind of fool who would seek his own death. But there is no need for Bai Ye to explain to them, and also expand the field. The field expands. Advertisement, absolute assimilation. In an instant, Bai Ye took away the control of the pestilous god's domain. The scope of the field is also expanding in an instant. The pressure in the field has suddenly risen. The terrifying mantra power pervades the entire field, giving people a feeling of substance. Everyone was oppressed by the powerful spell in the domain and couldn't move, they could only watch helplessly as Bai Ye gradually approached. Especially the herpes god, when he found out that his domain had been taken away, he was furious. He roared unwillingly again and again, but no matter how he struggled, he couldn't move a single finger. He could only watch Bai Ye walking in front of him in horror. Spell manipulation. Bai Ye reached out and placed his hand lightly on the shoulder of the herpes god, and with a bang, the super curse became a ball in Bai Ye's hand. Grunt swallowed one bite, the taste is still disgusting. However, the number of special curses collected by Bai Ye +1. As the herpes god was absorbed, the realm was also released by Bai Ye. But Mingming and Yu were still in a state of confusion, completely unresponsive to what happened. By the time they reacted, Bai Ye had already left here. Yu. Mingming suddenly shouted, "That person just now is stronger than Gojo Satoru? And the technique 5.1 he just used. If I read correctly, it should be the magic spell. How could he use Xia Youjie's technique? Could it be that he is the real Xia Youjie?" On Xia Youjie's side, he was anxiously waiting for Prison Gate to finish processing Wu Tiaowu's information. Suddenly, he found that the bondage between himself and the herpes god disappeared. Did it get rid of it? It's pretty amazing, for a current magician. Just when he thought it was Mingming and the gods who got rid of herpes, a familiar feeling that made him palpitate emerged from the bottom of his heart. Could it be him? 109 memories that don't exist, last words, full order? In an empty 7-story bungalow. Perhaps because he is used to such a claustrophobic environment, Jiwan is here to deal with the tasks assigned to him by Bai Ye. Jiwan manipulated the puppet in his hand to rescue ordinary people in various places in Shibuya. In addition to the puppets controlled by himself, there are also some cursed bones made by Bai Ye. They are a group of cursed skeletons with the ability to think for themselves. Each has the strength comparable to that of a panda. However, they did not participate in the battle, they just obeyed Bai Ye's order to help others silently. While counting the number of casualties, Jiwan couldn't help sighing silently. Master Bai Ye is really amazing. It not only helped me improve my understanding of puppet manipulation, but also allowed me to see the curse bones with emotions. Moreover, both in terms of quantity and strength, they are stronger than Principal Moth's curse. If I were to fight one of them, 15 would definitely lose worse than when I lost to Panda in the exchange meeting. Following Lord Bai Ye is indeed the best decision I have ever made. Jiwan's eyes shone with brilliance. Just after sighing, the puppet he left beside the knotweed was destroyed in the battle with the swelling. However, its mission has been completed so far, so the mechanical pill is not heartbroken. Soon after, Bai Ye came to Jiwan. "You really like this claustrophobic environment?" The sudden appearance of Bai Ye made Jiwan slightly surprised, and immediately greeted Bai Ye. "Master Bai Ye, why are you here?" Quickly cleared out a chair and sent it to Bai Ye, and then began to report to Bai Ye the information he currently had. After listening to Jiwan's report, Bai Ye affirmed Jiwan's work results before leaving for the knotweed. When Bai Ye appeared at the subway station again, the battle between knotweed and bulge is almost over. In the end, Polygonum cuspidatum lost to Zhangshang by a narrow margin, and at this time he had passed out. He's not dead yet, there's still a breath left. Advertisement. Zhangshang looked at the unconscious Polygonum cuspidatum with cold eyes and said coldly, "When you get to that world, throw it to my younger brothers to apologize." Just when he was about to kill the knotweed stick, a figure appeared in front of his eyes. The moment Zhangshang saw the figure, his pupils shrank suddenly, and then his whole body exploded with anger. Open black lens bracket. He is the murderer who killed his brother. Close black lens bracket. At the same time that such a thought appeared in the mind of Zhangshang, the magic power of the whole body was about to explode. However, his question was gently suppressed by Bai Ye. Bai Ye didn't do too many movements, just put one hand lightly on Bao Shang's shoulder. The bulging phase is full of sweat. At this time, Shang realized the insurmountable gap between the two. Gritting his teeth, he still asked Bai Ye, "Did you kill my brother?" "You can think so." The bloated face had a ferocious expression, but he couldn't make any movements, so he could only ask unwillingly, "Did my younger brothers leave any last words when they died?" Bai Ye touched his chin, thought carefully for 2 seconds, and then said with a playful expression, "The last words? Ah, I said that you must reunite the 9 brothers. I am going to kill you." Zhang Shang was furious immediately, but he had nothing to do with Bai Ye. Bai Ye was not angry about this, but a little appreciative of the swelling. This also further confirmed the idea of accepting their brothers as subordinates. But Bai Ye didn't take the initiative to bring it up. Before receiving blood smears and bad looks, it was considered a semi-threatening state, and the premise was to conclude the bondage. It doesn't mean that they are convincingly surrendering to themselves. Now he intends to subdue the emperor and let him voluntarily conclude the bondage. In order to recover the land, Bai Ye made a total of 2 preparations. One is the bad faces and blood smears waiting outside the subway station. The second is why he is here. "Xiao Shang, you are not my opponent, you cannot kill me." Advertisement. "But you can kill the knotweed Jianren now, he is also an accomplice, and I won't stop it." Bai Ye turned sideways, letting out the knotweed behind him. "However, I want to remind you that you will regret killing knotweed Jianren. Because as far as I know, he is your younger brother. Can you really have the heart to kill him?" After Bai Ye finished speaking, he walked out of the subway station slowly, leaving the choice to Zhang Shang. After Bai Ye left, the puffy phase was finally relieved, and while panting heavily, he looked at the tiger stick with killing intent in his eyes. Step by step towards the unconscious polygonum cuspidatum, just as he was about to kill him. A memory that didn't exist suddenly appeared in his mind. It was a sunny afternoon. As the big brother, Xu Shang brought bloodstains, bad looks, knotweed and a few other brothers who were still sealed had a happy meal together. 970 came to mind. The memory does not exist, but it is so real that it hurts the bulge. In an instant, the emotions of the swelling phase collapsed. Looking at the knotweed that fell on the ground in front of him, he grabbed his hair tightly with both hands. "What happened? What happened? Why would you? Impossible. Why? What he said is not true. He lied to me." For a moment, the bloated phase, who couldn't tell the truth from the fake, fled the station and rushed out of the station at high speed. Outside the station, Bai Ye stood on a not too high building, looking at the bloodstains and bad faces waiting at the entrance of the station following his instructions. The corners of his mouth could not help but slightly rise. He knew that it wouldn't be long before Shang himself would come to him. And besides that, the knotweed will also swallow a lot of fingers this time. Su Nuo's strength will usher in a surge. "This time, I can finally try your cooking skills, Su Nuo." Bai Ye is very much looking forward to fighting Su Nuo after his strength has skyrocketed. The same is true for Su Nuo. 110 Tuijin's body appears, the old man's tenderness. 2220. An Okashira line, Shibuya Station Street exit. Zenon Jibirin and Maki, who formed a new team with Nanami, successfully broke in. Gojo Satoru is actually sealed. It's really puzzling. Naobi of the Zen Academy said with a relaxed face. "I feel the same way. But even if it's a counterfeit, Xia Youjie has something to do with it after all. I think it must have something to do with it." Qihai remained as calm as ever. He. Zibi of the Chanyuan smiled again, completely unable to see that he was worried about Wuzhou Wu, and said, "But for me, if the Wuzhou family can decline like this, it will be a great joy." Hearing Naobi's words, Maki, a disciple of Gojo Satoru, was a little upset. Although Jibirin is her uncle, Maki, who has long been unhappy with the Zenyuan family, did not give him a good face. He gave a cold snort to Jibirin and said coldly, "If you don't want to save people, go back as soon as possible." For Maki's vicious words, Naomido was not angry but just smiled in his heart, looking at Maki with a trace of imperceptible tenderness. Although the Zenyuan family as a whole is a garbage dump that is not even as good as a garbage dump, the immediate neighbors of the Zenyuan who are the head of the family are different. Being able to become the head of the family, he naturally has some means and abilities. He is well aware of the current state of the Chanyuan family, and he has made a lot of efforts and preparations to change the Chanyuan family. But he is not the only one who has the final say on the Chanyuan family, and what he can do is still very limited. If you want to change, you can only tear down the entire Chanyuan family and rebuild it. He knew this very well, but he couldn't do it, because he is the owner. There is no position, and there is no reason to overthrow the family that raised him. Open black lens bracket. Hope Fuhei, Maki and their generation can change the Zenyuan family to some extent. Close black lens bracket. Sighing silently in his heart, Jibirin said calmly, "The one who should go back is you, Maki." "I'm right?" Qihai first-class magician, Qihai nodded lightly, and agreed. Student Maki, as far as this matter is concerned, I agree with the point of talking directly to the owner. Maki's strength is not weak, although her rating is still a 4th level magician, but her strength has reached the 2nd level. For her who has no magic power, it is already very powerful to have such strength. But, in every battle from now on, people below the 1st level magician cannot intervene. Even a 1st level magician is likely to perish here. This is already the home field of magicians above the 1st level. Qihai and ZB people are deeply aware of this, so they persuade Maki to go back. It is also because of this that Nanami will let Nagasaki Wild Rose stay outside. However, Maki disagreed. Even though she knew the danger she would face next, she still chose to go with her. Huh? I'm more useful than that drunk old man. Maki glanced at Niobe in disgust and then complained. Advertisement Qihai was startled, and quickly looked at the GP people beside him and asked, Patriarch GP, have you been drinking? The Loon family doesn't drink anymore. The ZB man pretended to be slightly drunk and slurred his speech, and at the same time hiccuped. It's just that there is no silver 300 taels here. Regarding this, Tien Hai was very speechless, but no matter how you say it, it's better than him acting alone. In this way, the three moved on for a while. When they walked to the waiting platform, a strong curse atmosphere permeated it. Mr. Seven sees. The moment they sensed the curse, Maki and Nanami became alert at the same time. Just behind a wall pillar not far from them, Tuo Liang was guarding there. I come. Sensing the strange aura from Tuojin, Tien Hai took out the big kitchen knife. Maki he carried behind his back and took a step forward. However, it's not waiting for him to do it. The GP people of the Buddhist monastery will attack Tuojin first with magic formulas. In just an instant, Tuo Liang was sealed in a frame. Call. With another punch, the Japiran shattered the frame in front of him and hit Tuojin hard with his heavy fist, sending him flying. You are too slow. As if to show off that he still has such a speed after drinking, Jabiran said to Nanami and Maki. Maki and Nanami were speechless for a while. Did you see his movements clearly? No, it should be a spell, right? It's too fast anyway. When Qihai and Maki were discussing, Tuo Liang, who was beaten into the air, spit out his stomach full of bones. HMPH, beast. How many people did you eat? Looking at the corpse in front of them, the three looked dignified. And Tuo Liang, who spit out the bones, has also completed the evolution. With a whoosh, a more agile figure flew out of Tuo Liang's body. Tuo Liang's body was born from the cursed womb. It was you magicians who killed Hannah Yu. The newly born Tuojin looked at the GP people and the three of them, his eyes were bloodshot and roared angrily. Advertisement with a wave of his hand, the magic power gathered at the fingertips, and the next moment, the overwhelming sea water poured in. And Qihai and the GP people were not idle either. The moment Toliang launched the attack, they also launched a counterattack. Compared with the two first-level magicians, Maki's movements were a little slower, but they also attacked immediately after. However, her attack was easily dodged by Tuo General. He was even caught in the neutral position by Tuo Gen, who wanted to counterattack her. Seeing the moment of life and death, the GP people once again launched the spell to turn the Tuojin into a frame. Cooperating with Qihai, the attacks of the two of them actually fell on Tuo Liang's body. However, their attacks did not cause much substantial damage to Tuo General. 2 levels can't get rid of it, it's serious. After a round of attacks, the two sides distanced themselves, and Jabiran said with a smile on his lips. And Qihai is also aware of the difficulty of the opponent, and can't help but feel a little worried. Only Maki was very depressed and a little unwilling in her heart. Open black lens bracket hateful. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket. If the stinky old man didn't use the spell just now, I would have died. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. What a shame. Close black lens bracket. And outside the battlefield, Bai Ye sat at the service desk of the station and watched them quietly. With a slight smile at the corner of his mouth, he said softly, "You must express your gratitude well, Maki. The tenderness of the old guy, you will understand later. Speaking of which, Fu Hei should be here soon, right?" Bai Ye asked Shi beside him. "Good Zhao, Lord Bai Ye guessed right, Wei is on his way." Nodding slightly, Bai Ye said again, "Do you think they can get rid of this cursed beast before Wei arrives?" Shi froze for a moment, thought for a few seconds, and then replied, "If it doesn't expand the domain, it should be fine. After all, that old man's strength lies there, but expanding the field is another matter." After Shi finished speaking, he looked at Bai Ye, waiting for Bai Ye's evaluation. "If there is no accident, it will expand its domain. Let's go in and have a look at that time." The next task. Don't be moved by compassion. You feel sorry for your son and refuse to do it. Bai Ye smiled and joked. "Please rest assured, Master Bai Ye." Shi assured Bai Ye. It is better to suffer a little bit now than to die at the hands of the enemy in the future. 111 Super Domain Deathmatch. Nanami, who was about to work overtime. Sure enough, the discussion between Bai Ye and Xia Youjie didn't take long. Tuijin was powerless to fight back under the joint efforts of two first-level magicians, Jianren and Qihai. Whenever he wants to use his big move, he will be blocked. In terms of speed, he is no match at all, being crushed by all kinds. As the saying goes, two fists are hard to beat with four hands, not to mention that there are three opponents. With the cooperation of the three of them, it was extremely difficult for Tuijin to even dodge attacks, not to mention performing spells. Once again, he was beaten by the GP people and crawled to the ground. Tuo General couldn't help feeling resentful. Open black lens bracket. Damn. This man. I'll blame this man. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. He's too fast. I'm afraid his speed is even faster than that of Liu Hu. Close black lens bracket. If you want to deal with them, it seems that you can only expand the field. Close black lens bracket. Tuo Liang knew very well that if he continued to delay, he would be the one who died. So without any hesitation, just raise your hand and make a seal. Don't think about it. However, his movement was interrupted again by the GP people. So, Tuo Liang used the magic power to draw a curse seal on his abdomen to activate the domain. Field expansion. Dangling horizontal line. In an instant, the field swept the three of them, pulling them into the superfield. In the eyes, there is a vast and boundless sea, a beach at the foot, coconut groves that can only be found on tropical beaches behind, and hills that are not high or low in the distance. The blue sky and white clouds, the sunshine is just right, everything looks so quiet and peaceful, if there is no Tuo Liang. Being pulled into the field, the three of 137 were stunned for a moment. And at this stunned moment, three human-sized Shikigami with mouthfuls of fangs appeared out of thin air. Must hit the effect. One inattentive, Maki's right leg was directly hit. Even Qihai suffered a little injury on his shoulder. Only Zenyuan Jianren, the patriarch of one of the three imperial clans, barely escaped the attack by relying on the technique of dealing with the domain passed down from generation to generation in the family. Love of fallen flowers. Love of falling blossoms will not expand its own domain like the simple domain. But when the enemy's must-hit technique is activated and touches him, he will release his own magic power to fight back, so as to protect himself. In other words, when the attack comes, it will be intercepted by love of falling flowers. Prevent yourself from causing harm. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket. Sure enough, that person is different. Close black lens bracket. After trying the skills of the three of them, Tuo General redistributed his strength. Now adjust the strength according to the bearded old man 7, the man in the suit 3. Maki was completely ignored by Tuo Liang. After all, in his eyes, Maki was just an ordinary person without spell power. Liberation of surgery. Deadly swarming army. Tuo Liang made a seal with both hands. BFCD, huge Shikigami emerged from the bottom of the sea. The dense Shikigami overwhelming the sky, coupled with their bloody mouths, looks terrifying. Maki-san. Shikigami will not rush straight towards us, but will gouge out our flesh in the next instant. The experienced Nanami immediately explained to Maki after understanding the opponent's technique. It's useless to think about countermeasures now. You can only knock them down one by one when you feel touched. For you who have almost no magic power, there is only one way. As soon as Qihai's voice fell, he was bitten by a group of Shikigami. And Maki is safer for the time being because Togen doesn't take her seriously. As for the GP people, although they were protected by Luohuacheng, they were not harmed. But the endless Shikigami attacks also left him with no time to think about other things, let alone counterattack. Just when he was distressed by this, Tuijin used Shikigami to block Jianren's sight, and the fist suddenly appeared in the next moment. Boom. One punch will blow people away. As if avenging the injuries he received before, he raised his hand and waved again, and a group of Shikigami took the opportunity to bite Jianren. The sea is the source of life for all things, and the death-laden army is a Shikigami that can spew out endlessly. Tuo Liang looked like he was sure of winning, and at the moment when he was proud, Maki, who was not taken care of, took a magic tool and wanted to attack him. It's just that before Maki got close, he was bitten by several Shikigami. It's too weak, let's solve it from you. Togen moved behind Maki and kicked it away. Just at the critical moment, Maki tried her best to turn her body around and resisted Tuo Liang's attack with a magic tool. But the impact of this blow was too powerful. Even with a spell to resist, Maki was still blown away. The coconut groves along the way have been destroyed. It can be seen that the attack strength of this blow. Advertisement, however, after all, Maki's body has been tempered for decades, and it has long been extremely tyrannical. To her, this kind of attack was just to numb her arms and make her chi and blood surge, but it was not fatal. But if this continues, she will still be unable to escape death. Without spell power and powerful spell equipment, she is simply a burden in this battle. Open black lens bracket. Damn it. I made a mistake. I should have reunited with Wei before acting. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. No, after all, I should have waited until I got the permission to bring that out before attacking. Close black lens bracket. Maki walked out of the woods, wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth, and her unyielding character made her say coldly, "Since you spoke so forcefully, you killed me with one blow? Idiot." Maki's provocation made Tuijin snort coldly, and then said seriously, "In that case, then let you enjoy the same treatment as them, and be devoured." Just when Tuijin was about to deal with Maki seriously, Heiwei, who was instructed by Bai Ye, successfully broke into the field. The field expands, Chimera Dark Riding Court. The moment Fu Hei broke into the domain, he launched his own domain. Although it is not a complete field, it can still offset the must-hit effect of Tuo Chang's dangling horizontal line field. Maki Senpei, Fu Hei gave a loud shout, and used his shadow to loosen Yu Yun to Maki's feet. Seeing Yu Yun, Maki smiled. "Wei, you kid, you are really an arrogant junior." Both Maki and Togen were surprised that Fu Hei entered the field on his own initiative. However, with the special magic tool Yuyan, Maki was finally able to fight Tuokyu. Outside the field, seeing Fu Hei entering the field, Shi couldn't help but feel a little worried. "Lord Bai Ye, Shi was about to apply to enter the field, but Bai Ye raised his hand to stop him. "Wait a little longer. Wait until Fu Hei opens the passage for us before going in." "But, what? Are you so unconfident in your own son? Or are you worried about my guidance? How can my subordinates doubt Master Bai Ye? Just." Bai Ye looked at Shire, who rarely showed a worried expression, lightly patted him on the shoulder, and said in relief, "Don't worry. Wei Kei's level of becoming a famous magician is just a stepping stone for him. What's more, Tuo Liang has bound me, he can't kill anyone this time." Hearing Bai Ye's words, Shi gradually felt at ease. He had no doubts about Bai Ye's words, and even began to look forward to such a future. 112 invading the field, even angry for Fu Hei's intrusion, Tuo Liang has not realized the seriousness of the problem. So stupid that he would take the initiative to invade my domain. Tuo Liang sneered, raised his hand and waved at Fu Hei. The next moment, he froze. At the moment when he was dazed, Maki, who got the super magic tool, Yu Yun, slammed over. Tuo Liang quickly raised his hand to resist, and Min was thrown a large piece of meat. Boom! Maki took the opportunity to hit Tuo Zhen with another stick, and directly sent Tuo General flying. Until now, Tuo Liang realized a problem. The must-hit effect in his domain has disappeared. Looking at Fu Hei, who had rushed in again, Tuo Liang quickly understood the reason why the effect disappeared. Open black lens bracket. That boy also opened the field. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. It is now a state of tug of war between my domain and his domain. Close black lens bracket. It seems that if you want to regain the disappearance of the sure hit effect, you must first defeat his domain. Close black lens bracket. Tukun understood the key, and directly summoned two Shikigami from his body to attack Fu Hei. Shikigami blinked. Just when the two Shikigami with their mouths wide open were about to arrive in front of Fu Hei, Nanami, who got rid of the sure hit effect, arrived in time. Swish! The two Shikigami were cut off with one blow. But at this time, Nanami was not good looking, with blood all over her body, and she couldn't tell whether it was Shikigami's or his own. The clothes on his body were even more tattered, and he looked very embarrassed anyway. Seeing that Qihai, a first-level magician, suffered heavy injuries, Fu Hei was shocked. Mr. Nanami, however, Qihai is not worried about his injuries, but is more concerned about why Fu Hei is alone. "What about Knotweed and Ino? Mr. Ino was wounded and left the battle. We will split up with Knotweed." Qihai nodded slightly, then stood in front of Fu Hei and said, "I'll protect you, you concentrate on maintaining the domain." With Qihai's protection, Fu Hei was instantly much safer. But his domain battle with Tuo Zhen is not someone else's help. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket. It's been almost a minute, and he actually survived the attack of Deadly Swarming Army. Close black lens bracket. Seeing that Qihai is still alive, Tuo Liang couldn't help being a little surprised. His distribution of power is based on the premise of being able to solve the opponent. So he was surprised to see that Qihai was still alive. And just when he was surprised, the ZB people also returned to the battlefield again. Approaching Tuijin at high speed, clenched his fist with his left hand and punched out fiercely. However, this attack by the GP people was avoided by Toby. In this field, after all, it is still Tuo Liang's home field. What's more, ZB people also suffered a lot of damage. Just lost a right arm, and with the existing healing techniques, there is no way to heal his army at all. Although it is only a right arm, it has been with me for 71 years after all, and the price is very high. When the blow was missed, Jianren and Tuijin stood facing each other, guarding each other. And the other side. Under the protection of Qihai, Jianren finally opened up a passage at the edge of Tuoliang's domain. You two. Gather. Facing an enemy who can understand language, Qihai, who already knows the plan to subdue the black, can only convey the intention tactfully. Hearing Nanami's call, Naomito and Maki hesitated. Although they didn't know what plans Qihai and Jianren had, but relying on their trust in the first-level magician, the two directly gave up the confrontation and ran towards Jianren at the fastest speed. Facing the sudden situation, Tuo Liang hadn't noticed their intentions yet. Open black lens bracket. Do you want to strengthen the protection of that boy? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. It doesn't matter, it's more convenient for me to catch them all. Close black lens bracket. Astonished. Suddenly, a flash of lightning flashed through Tuo Zhen's mind. Open black lens bracket. Wrong. Close black lens bracket. The moment he realized something was wrong, Tuo Liang rushed over to stop it. However, before Jianren and the others could evacuate, they witnessed a vigorous person coming out of the passage opened by Jianren. Advertisement. Asking for flowers. For a moment, everyone was stunned. Maki, Fuguro, and Qihai, who had never seen Shire before, all stared blankly at the man in front of them with surprised expressions. Only the person directly next to the Buddhist monastery changed his expression drastically. And Tuo Liang in the distance is also full of doubts. Open black lens bracket. Not trying to escape, but summoning another new magician to come in. Close black lens bracket. Just when everyone was curious, Shire, who had long been unable to bear the temptation of fighting, snatched Yu Yun from the hands of the true emperor. Facing Shire, Maki has absolutely no ability to resist, let alone time to react. In just an instant, Yu Yun had already let go. Open black lens bracket. I didn't feel the slightest magic power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. It was just a contest of pure strength? And I actually lost? Close black lens bracket. Looking at Yu Yun, who was taken away, Maki was surprised. Qihai also slowly approached Jianren, ready to fight to cover Jianren. But Shi-er didn't even look at them, and walked straight towards Tuo General. You're Shi-er? Shi-er walked directly past Jianren without answering his question. After all, his purpose of coming here is not to confuse others. Instead, he wants to beat up that Tuo Liang who hurt his son. Stepping on the seawater, Shi-er walked slowly not far from Tuo Liang. Tuo General couldn't help being slightly startled by the cold eyes and evil smile on the corner of his mouth. Open black lens bracket. What's going on with this guy? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Obviously there is no magic power, but it gives me a dangerous feeling. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. And the moment he entered the domain, the bondage with that person was lifted. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Could it be? He is. Close black lens bracket. Tuo General was secretly guessing the relationship between Shi-er and Bai Ye, but the next moment, Shire's attack came suddenly. Boom, same stick. Shire's attack strength is not comparable to Maki's. A cut was made directly on Tuo Zhen's body, and blood flowed out instantly. 113 Tuo General falls. Father and son are alone. Shi-er took advantage of the victory and pursued, hitting several sticks in a row. Every blow caused great damage to Tuoliang. Open black lens bracket. What? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. What kind of strange power is this? Close black lens bracket. Tuijin, who was smashed into the air, was extremely surprised. Facing Shi-er's pursuit, he can only do passive defense. The summoned Shikigami was also defeated by a destructive posture. What shocked him even more was that until now, the other party had caused him no less than 10 serious injuries, but he hadn't felt a trace of magic power from Shi-er. Open black lens bracket. Still can't feel any magic power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. However, it is able to walk on the water surface, and the speed is still increasing. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Who the hell is he? Close black lens bracket. Out of fear of Shi-er, Tuo Liang didn't dare to make a big deal, and directly summoned two more powerful Shikigami. Not only is the body bigger, but the whole body is also covered with carapace. Just from the appearance, it gives people a very powerful feeling. Open black lens bracket. Their hardness and attack power can be different from the previous Shikigami. Close black lens bracket. With these two Shikigami, Tuo Liang appeared very confident. But, in Shire's eyes, that's all it takes. Open black lens bracket. A Shikigami of this level wants to stop me? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. A cursed skeleton made by Master Bai Ye is far more powerful than this. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. It's time to show off the results obtained under Bai Ye's training. Close black lens bracket. Shi held Yu Yun in his hand, and he didn't intend to dodge at all. Instead he jumped directly at the two Shikigami. He swung Yu Yun in his hand and smashed it down. Boom. Just a stick. Directly smashed the two Shikigami into pieces of meat. Seeing Shire's terrifying strange power, everyone was in a daze. Maki suddenly feels relieved that Yu Yun was easily taken away by him. Old man, who is that man? Shocked and curious, Maki asked Jabiran. HMPH. Japiran snorted coldly and said solemnly, it's just an undead. Although his voice sounded like he looked down on the other party completely, his expression was not like that at all. Advertisement Qihai also frowned. Although they don't know the details of the other party, but now their hope is Shire in front of them. Everything can only be bet on Shire. Although he also joined the battle to assist Shire, but the current battle situation is almost one-sided, and it is simply not his turn to make a move. After a series of stormy attacks, Shire paused for a moment. He is so disappointed. I am deeply disappointed in Toliang. Maybe it's because I have been with Bai Ye for too long, and I have seen Bai Ye's existence like a mountain that cannot be looked up. Now the super curse is nothing in his eyes. He has lost interest in Toliang. He intends to exterminate Tuo General directly. Hold Yu Yun like a 3-section stick with both hands, and rub the two ends together quickly. This action stunned Maki and the others. Open black lens bracket. What is he going to do? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Crash and rub the two ends of Yu Yun. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket in order to change its shape. Close black lens bracket. Before they could finish their astonishment, under Shi's strange force, both ends of Yu Yun had been ground into spikes. And Tuo Liang also took advantage of the time when Shire stopped attacking to recover from some injuries. But under Shire's continuous heavy blows, he was already crumbling, dripping with blood, and even smelled the smell of death. Open black lens bracket. I actually lose. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Are you going to lose to someone who has no magic power? Close black lens bracket. Tuo Liang stared blankly at Shire in front of him, then turned his gaze suddenly to look at Fu Hei. Open black lens bracket. No. I can feel that the boy's domain has been extremely weakened, and I can kill them all as long as I regain the sure hit effect and disappear. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Buy some more time. Close black lens bracket. Tuo Liang smelled the vitality and immediately jumped into the air, trying to distance himself from Shire. Open black lens bracket. He can't stay in the air without mana power. Close black lens bracket. At the same time when his thoughts fell, the GP people of the Buddhist monastery had already appeared above his head. He said coldly, after all, you can stay in the air. Do you need me to say it again? As soon as the words fell, the Japiran kicked Tuo Gen on the head suddenly, causing him to lose his balance instantly. Naturally, Shire seized this opportunity and aimed at Tuo Liang with the sharpened Yu Yun. Although Tuo General put his hands in front of his forehead with the fastest speed, Yu Yun in Shi's hand pierced his arms ruthlessly, and then went straight into his head. Advertisement puff. Immediately, blood flew everywhere. It's not over yet. Shire forcefully tore off Yu Yun, holding the spiked part with both hands and stabbing into Tuobei's head with force. Once, twice, 3 times. For an unknown number of times, Tuo Liang's domain disappeared, and his aura was also cut off at this moment. Shire used his own strength to exorcise Tuo Gen. Everyone was stunned at this moment. Looking at Shi's eyes seems to be like looking at a god of death. In particular, the undiminished vitality in his body is as frightening as if he has endless strength. After confirming Tuo Liang's death, Shire turned around and smiled slightly at the 4 people who were waiting in full battle. His eyes swept over the 3 of them and then fell on Fu Hei. Call. The next moment. At the moment when Fu Hei had no time to react, he was dragged out of the station by Shire. Open black lens bracket. Nani. When did you get caught outside? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This is no longer a question of speed. Close black lens bracket. When Fu Hei reacted, he had already separated from Maki and the others. And in the station. By the time Maki and the others reacted, the black hate had disappeared. Before they could chase them out, a powerful curse aura appeared in front of them. No doubt, this breath is far stronger than Tuo Liang. At the same time that Tuo Liang was exterminated, Lu Hu, who went out to look for the knotweed stick, happened to find it here. You're gone too, Jin. 4.6 Lu Hu looked at Tuo Gen, who was gradually disappearing, feeling a little sad. But immediately, his eyes became sharper. Leave it to me next. Even if we don't rely on human beings, our souls can reincarnate, so let's meet again in the wilderness 100 years later. When Lu Hu was talking to himself, he didn't notice Bai Ye, who was standing not far away. Hubao, you always say some lovely speeches. speak the harshest words and receive the most vicious beatings. If you are not a curse, I really want to accept you, but unfortunately. Bai Ye chuckled and muttered to himself, then he was ready to strike. 114 Unnecessary Dignity, Top Chef Su Nuo, please customize. Lu Hu's strength is very strong, there is no doubt about it. Just relying on Maki and the others in front of them, it is impossible to be Lei Hu's opponent. Just a face-to-face. Qihai was directly hit by Liu Hu's attack, and was instantly engulfed in a sea of flames. First, get rid of Qihai and come to Maki again. Same. A sea of fire surrounded her. The second. Although this attack was very unreal, but seeing the fallen Maki, he did not continue to pursue it, but launched an attack on the GP people of the Zen Academy. The third. After solving the three of them, Lu Hu suddenly felt a strong sense of disobedience. He suddenly turned his head and looked in the direction of the breath. Su Nuo. No, it's the finger. Su Nuo's finger is being released somewhere in Shibuya. He didn't care about giving the three of them a final blow, so he rushed out directly. Shortly after he left, Bai Ye finally showed his figure. With a wave of his hand, the heat from the three of them was instantly dissipated. Well, the injury should not be so serious after the heat dissipates. After taking a look at Maki, who was protected by him at the moment of being attacked, she was not hurt at all, but was just knocked out by him. Bai Ye nodded lightly and said, although you don't want this preface very much, but I don't want to be blamed by Wu in the future. Women need both strength and beauty. After making sure that Maki was not hurt, Bai Ye checked Qihai again. Although an attack of this level is not fatal, it still looks serious. Qihai's appearance at this time is very terrifying. The entire left half of his face has been completely destroyed. Eyes, ears, hair have been destroyed. Even the bones of the left hand have been exposed. Advertisement. Let's heal a little bit. Bai Ye put his hands on Qihai's body and activated the spell, Wu Wei Transformation. In the blink of an eye, Qihai's injuries had fully recovered. But he didn't wake up, he was already unconscious. After Qihai was treated, Bai Ye walked up to the dying Jibiran. Looking at him who was still alive, Bai Ye knelt down and asked, although saying this at this time is a bit dangerous. But I still want to ask, GP people of the Buddhist monastery, are you willing to join me? Jibiran saw what he did just now, and he knew very well that Bai Ye had the ability to heal his injuries. It is also clearer about the meaning of Bai Ye's words. Hash plus hash equals as long as he nods, day and night will heal his wounds. However, he did not nod. As one of the three imperial families, the dignity of the head of the Chanyuan family made him unable to nod his head. As the head of the family who has lived to be 71 years old, at the critical moment when it is time to abdicate, he still thinks about living and losing the dignity of the Yusan family. He can't do it. He just stared blankly at Bai Ye, trying to see something from that blurred figure. Needless to say, Bai Ye already understood everything from his eyes. Bai Ye sighed lightly, and could only shake his head regretfully and said, is it the dignity of the Yusan family? The old man's thinking is really too corrupt. However, we can't ask everyone to see clearly like Gojo Satoru. Bai Ye's words made GP people stare. It seems to be asking, what is your relationship with Gojo Satoru? But Bai Ye didn't look at him again, but stood up and called softly, Shunping. Master Bai Ye. Yoshino Junpei came out from the corner, with a very respectful expression. Send Jibiran's patriarch and Chanyuan Maki to the high school. Yes, Master Bai Ye. Yoshino Junpei took the task, and quickly let the two cursed skeletons lead them away. After they left, Bai Ye called Jiwan again. Advertisement. Now that the task of the mechanical pill has been completed, all that remains is to manipulate the puppet to treat ordinary people, so he can spare time. Take Mr. Qihai to a safe place to take care of him, and let me know when he wakes up, Bai Ye ordered. This subordinate will do it. Jijiwan took the task and soon left with Jianren Qihai. After dealing with the matter of the three of them, Bai Ye walked slowly towards the place where the knotweed was. And the knotweed here, after being knocked out by the swelling phase, he has already been fed a finger by Nanako and Mimiko. Just in time. Liu Hu also rushed here. Seeing the lines of Su Nuo appearing on the body of Polygonum cuspidatum, he couldn't help being surprised. Shout. B******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** 817. No. Not telling you, really? Then go to hell. Liu Hu directly attacked the two of them, but before his attack came, the two narrowly avoided the attack and disappeared from Liu Hu's eyes. Oh. Being run away by the two, Liu Hu didn't continue to chase, but came to the side of Hu Zhang. The lines on his body haven't disappeared yet. Although the situation is no longer expected, I still want to make the most of it. Going to the knotweed and squatting down, Liu Hu took out the container containing the fingers from her bosom, and then slowly opened it, revealing the 10 fingers contained in it. Then feed the knotweed one by one and swallow it. And not far away, Lu Hu didn't realize that Bai Ye was watching what he was doing. 10 fingers? You can look forward to it a little bit? I hope my cooking skills won't be as bad as before. Top chef, Su Nuo. Bai Ye smiled slightly, with a rare look of anticipation on his face. 115. Do you want rice bowl? Su Nuo with 15 fingers after being fed 10 fingers by Lu Hu. The body of Polygonum cuspidatum is covered with lines. Cough cough. And at this time, Nanako and Mimiko, who escaped from Lei Hu's men just now, suddenly appeared not far from Lei Hu. Although the two of them escaped Lu Hu's fatal attack, they were still affected a lot when facing Lu Hu's level. Especially the terrifying heatwave, which made the two of them almost unable to breathe. Now that I have come out again, I can breathe in the fresh air with big mouthfuls. But their appearance also surprised Lu Hu slightly. Are you still alive? What a waste of my time. Lu Hu looked at the two with an unfriendly expression, then slowly got up. Just when he was about to attack the two of them again, a strong sense of disobedience suddenly swept over everything. I'll give you 1 second. Su Nuo's voice was unusually flat, but it frightened Lu Hu and Mimiko. Especially Leaky Coral. His hand holding the knotweed stick had been severed by Su Nuo before he was conscious. Blood dripping. Without any time to think, he subconsciously distanced himself from Su Nuo. Although it was a subconscious action, he still fled to Nanako and Mimiko. Once he found out that something was wrong, the two of them could still use it as a shield. But even though he had retreated far enough, he was still terrified, with sweat dripping from his forehead. Facing a guy of Su Nuo's level, no amount of distance seemed to be enough. This is true even for Lei Hu, not to mention Nanako and Mimiko. At this time, his legs were so tense that they became weak. As for Bai Ye not far away, he just smiled lightly without being affected at all. This time, Su Nuo's breath made him finally have a little interest. Different from Wuzhou Wu's toughness, Su Nuo is another kind of toughness, exuding an overwhelming sense of evil. And Su Nuo, who swallowed 10 fingers in a row, also found Bai Ye, who was not hidden at all not far away. Seeing Bai Ye's calm expression, completely unaffected by his aura, he couldn't help frowning slightly. Open black lens bracket, that guy is also here. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, damn it. How strong is he? Close black lens bracket. Su Nuo couldn't help gathering his spell power to attack Bai Ye. A huge aura passed by the three of them, and they were all startled into a cold sweat. And it wasn't until then that they discovered that there was another person behind them. Seeing that blurred figure, Lu Hu was secretly startled. Open black lens bracket, it's him. I didn't notice the slightest breath. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement, open black lens bracket. The most frightening thing is that under the overwhelming aura of Su Nuo, he is not afraid at all. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, and I didn't feel any fluctuations in his spell power. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Even Su Nuo looks troublesome. It seems that he is stronger than I imagined. Close black lens bracket. Lu Hu looked at Bai Ye, terrified. Especially now that he is between the two, with Su Nuo in the front and Bai Ye in the back. The situation is extremely dangerous. If the two were going to make trouble, no matter how confident he was, he would not think that he had the ability to escape from the hands of these two. And Mimiko and Nanako were equally terrified. This place was completely beyond their level to intervene, and it was even difficult to breathe. Facing Su Nuo's spell attack, Bai Ye didn't even move his hands, relying on the bit of spell power leaked from his body to completely counteract it. Although he didn't release the magic power, it still made others feel like a tiger. It seems that in the next moment, they will be swallowed up and their heads will be decapitated. For this point, only Su Nuo, who fought against Bai Ye with spell power, knows best. His spell power was instantly disintegrated in front of Bai Ye. It's not that his attack is not strong, but that the opponent is too strong. If he had to describe it, it would probably be that the tofu hit a rock. Open black lens bracket. What does this feel like? My hands are shaking. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Really powerful. Close black lens bracket. I didn't have such a strong sense of crisis when I first came into contact. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Only when his strength has recovered to the present can he truly feel his strength. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I have never met such a powerful guy. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Even if I return to my prime, I'm afraid it's not enough to look at him in front of me. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. It's really exciting. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Although it is not the heyday yet, let me feel your power first. Close black lens bracket. Su Nuo's spell power boiled all over his body. Standing between the two of them, Lu Hu was in a dilemma, not knowing which direction to run away. He conceived of escaping here from various directions, but all the cells in his body were warning him. Once he takes action, he will definitely die. There is no way out. I had to stand there in a daze. But Sunuo was speechless. Head up too high, blocking my view back. As soon as the words fell, the three of them, Nanako and Mimiko, knelt on the ground involuntarily. Lu Hu was a little stronger, so he just knelt down on one knee, but because of this, the small volcano above his head was instantly chopped off by Sunuo. Immediately, blood flowed horizontally. The slash didn't disappear just then, instead, it slashed straight at Bai Ye. Advertisement brush. The slash was split in two before it touched Bai Ye. Then he slashed hard at the wall behind him. The movement behind him couldn't help but caught Lu Hu's attention, and subconsciously turned around, only to see that Bai Ye was unscathed. At this time, Sunuo also walked in front of him. As the king of curses, he did not allow other curses to hold their heads high when they saw him again. Do you think kneeling on one knee is enough? Sunuo looked at Lu Hu coldly and said, the fuller the ears of rice, the lower the head hangs. I think your head is quite light. After Sunuo finished speaking, he looked at Bai Ye and said, can we wait for the matter between us? I have some business with them. Sunuo pointed to them. Bai Ye smiled lightly and said, Nanako, Mimiko, do you think you can order Sunuo to do things for you with just one finger? Come back. Xia Youjie's body, I will help you get it back. Bai Ye paused, then continued with some helplessness. After all, he has wanted to worship me countless times. Shocked, for a moment, both Nanako and Mimiko were stunned. Staring at Bai Ye with two pairs of big beautiful eyes in disbelief. After a while, they confirmed. The person in front of me is the person in Xia Youjie's posthumous work. That sense of haziness, that sense of chaos, that infinitely powerful back, it is the person in front of me. Please, I beg you to liberate Mr. Xia Youjie. The two immediately moved to the front of Bai Ye. Nuo Dahao knelt down in front of him and asked sincerely and carefully. Get up. Go to a safe place first. Bai Ye didn't agree right away. The current Raso was still useful to him, so he couldn't get rid of it directly. Then he picked up a cursed skeleton and left with the two of them. But Bai Ye's move shocked Lu and Sunan. They didn't even notice the existence of the cursed skeleton. However, Bai Ye ignored the shock of the two, but said lightly, okay, the rest is between you. No matter what the outcome of your discussions is, I will not interfere. After speaking, Bai Ye found a place to sit down at random, and did not participate in the discussion between Lu Hu and Sunuo. He's not interested and doesn't need to care. On the contrary, he is quite interested in the matter between Fuhei and Shire. By the way, the father and son should have talked separately. 116 Special Team Battle Bai Ye, between father and son. Call. Sunuo was speechless, and gave Bai Ye a very apprehensive look. Then he looked at Lu Hu impatiently, and asked aloofly, Cursed spirit, what's the matter? Under Sunuo's overwhelming power, Lu Hu sweated profusely, and while repairing the small volcano on her head, she replied, not for anything. What? Sunuo couldn't believe it. I thought I had heard it wrong. Our purpose is to fully resurrect you. Just because the knotweed can't get used to it now, so you are only temporarily free. You should know this best yourself. Lu Hu said so. Before Notabagi Yuhido came back, he was bound with him. The restraint that can hold the dominance of the physical body in your hands forever. Now there are a lot of knotweed companions coming to Shibuya Station. You have a way to do it. Lu Hu meant something. Obviously, he wanted Sunuo to threaten the knotweed stick with the life of his partner, so as to conclude some ties that would be beneficial to Sunuo. But Sunuo was not interested in Lu Hu's proposal. That's not necessary. Sunuo's tone was very calm. Nani? Lu Hu was stunned for a moment, her mouth opened into a circle, and she couldn't believe her ears at all. I have my plan. Sunuo glanced at Bai Ye in the distance, then smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth, and suggested to Lu Hu. Curse Ling, that guy is also your enemy, right? How about I help you kill that guy, even as a gift in return for the finger? Sunuo's proposal was very tempting, and Liu Hu didn't need to think at all, and said with sharp eyes. Once a word is spoken, it is hard to follow. During the agreement between Sunuo and Lu Hu, outside the station, Fuhei, who was taken away by Shire alone, was waiting for him. Looking at this unreasonable guy in front of him, Fuhei was thinking about how to deal with the enemy in front of him. Open black lens bracket. I want to imagine. Imagine the way to defeat him, close black lens bracket. Fuhei formed seals with both hands, ready to summon Shikigami at all times. Advertisement Shire, who was opposite him, looked at his son expressionlessly. Although there was no expression on his face, he was extremely relieved in his heart. The posture is very good, giving people a feeling that cannot be underestimated. Close black lens bracket. Even in the face of an unknown and powerful enemy, he did not show the slightest timidity. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The spell power in my whole body is also very condensed, and every move is also very sophisticated. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The garbage dump of the Chanyuan family can't be cultivated. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Sure enough, entrusting Huito to Lord Bai Ye is the most correct decision I have ever made in my life. Close black lens bracket. Shi was grateful for his original decision. Open black lens bracket. Come and try your skills now. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Although I don't doubt Master Bai Ye's ability to teach, but being able to guide your own children is every father's wish. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Accept the guidance of being a father. Wei. Close black lens bracket. A smile appeared on the corner of Shi-er's mouth, and then he picked up the sharpened Yu-yun in his hand and directly attacked Fu Heiwei. Seeing the opponent launching an attack, Fu Heiwei had already made preparations and summoned Shikigami directly. Take off the rabbit. In an instant, Shi-er was surrounded by a group of rabbits. Although his sight was blocked, Shi-er relied on his powerful physical intuition to stab straight at the place where Fu Heiwei was standing just now. No hold back, no need to keep hands, BFCA, either. He didn't believe that Fu Heiwei didn't even have the ability to dodge such an attack. Brush. One shot missed. As expected, Shi-er's attack was easily avoided by Fu Heiwei. Without the slightest hesitation, Fu Hei took advantage of the moment Shi-er's attack failed, and ran in the opposite direction. At the same time, he used the rabbit to interfere with Shi-er's sight. Soon, Yin Heiwei came to an alley, used street fighting to limit the opponent's range of action. Seeing Fu Heiwei's decision, Shi-er smiled in his heart. Open black lens bracket. As expected of my son. Close black lens bracket. He actually came up with a way to restrict my actions in such a short period of time. Close black lens bracket. However, it is still far away. Advertisement. There was an imperceptible smile on the corner of Shi-er's mouth, and then he aimed at Fu Hei's vital point and launched a fierce attack. However, he was easily dodged by Fu Hei using the terrain. Then he grabbed Shi-er's arm with his backhand, used the shadow to take out the magic tool from the ground, and stabbed Shi-er's vitals fiercely. However, no touch. Fu Hei's attack failed. Open black lens bracket. Damn, he can even dodge this? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. What should I do? I can only fight? Close black lens bracket. Fu Hei was shocked and frightened. Shi-er was extremely happy in his heart. Open black lens bracket. Wonderful hit. Close black lens bracket. Although Shi-er avoided Fu Hei's fatal blow, his clothes were still punctured at the vital point, and even left a slight scar. May I have your name? Shi-er asked knowingly. Fu Hei was a little puzzled, but he still replied, Fu Hei. That's great. Shi-er left such a sentence, and then disappeared from under Fu Heiwei's eyes. Facing the opponent who suddenly disappeared, Fu Hei was a little confused. But when he thought of the words Jabiran said before, he secretly guessed in his heart. Open black lens bracket. Is he? Close black lens bracket. The other side. After leaving Fu Hei, Shi-er walked on the road alone. A smirk appeared on the corner of his mouth. Although he has known his son's name for a long time, hearing it from others and hearing it from his own ears are two completely different concepts. He is in a very happy mood now, and in the station. Su Nuo and Lu Hu have reached a consensus. Facing Bai Ye, the two remained silent. It seems that you have already discussed it. Bai Ye smiled slightly, without any surprise, as if everything was under his control. 117 Leaking Hu is fine, but Su Nuo is all you can do? Shibuya basement 5 floors. Bai Ye stood opposite Su Nuo and Lu Hu. Are you planning to work together to solve me? Bai Ye smiled slightly. Happy and fearless. No way, who made you too strong? Before Su Nuo's voice fell, he directly attacked Bai Ye. Liu Hu followed closely behind. The two surrounded Bai Ye from left to right. They didn't use spells, but used physical skills to attack Bai Ye. In this case, let me play with you for a while. Bai Ye also didn't use spells, and the spell power in his body was restrained, and he directly and simply received the joint attack of the two with bare hands. Then give it a light push. Lu Hu immediately flew backwards, smashing several pillars in a row before barely stopping. Blood flowed from the mouth, but Su Nuo was a little better, just knocked down a pillar and stabilized his figure. But he was also uncomfortable, and the corner of his mouth was bleeding faintly. Open black lens bracket. What a strong physique. Close black lens bracket. Su Nuo wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth, showing a fighting spirit, and attacked Bai Ye again. 2301. In front of Shibuya Station. At this time, the two-person team composed of Panda and Kusakabe is heading towards Shibuya Station to rescue Gojo Satoru. Kusakabe, let's stop investigating the interior of the building, shall we? The Pandaran are here, but they are very worried about Gojo Satoru. Although there is no way to go outside the tent, thanks to Thorn, ordinary people have basically completed the evacuation. Shall we go to Satoru? By the way, how do we get to the Fukutoshin line? Spine also said that the seal is particularly tricky, let's hurry up. Kusakabe was very impatient to hear the panda chattering all the time. Especially since he didn't want to be involved in a battle between the specials at all. Open black lens bracket, damn it. I have to find a good reason. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket. I definitely don't want to go to the 5th basement level. If this continues, the panda will drag me there. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement, open black lens bracket, must do everything possible to pass the time, because I don't want to die. Close black lens bracket. 5. It's so noisy. There is not only Wu Tiao alone in this world. Kusakabe's sudden anger and remarks shocked the panda suddenly. And Kusakabe obviously just wanted to fish in troubled waters, but put on a righteous expression and said, at this very moment, there are probably weak beings trembling in a corner of Shibuya. Specifically, you can imagine it as a little girl in the lower grades of elementary school. Do you dare to miss her and try? If the fragile future flower is hurt because of this, then it is not too much to say that we are accomplices, do you understand? Open black lens bracket, I said it really well. Close black lens bracket. Kusakabe turned around and secretly rejoiced. The panda also thought about what he said, and thought what he said was very reasonable. You have a point. Cough cough. Kusakabe cleared his throat, and then said, now that you understand, let me carefully check every floor and every place in each building, even the back of the toilet. Open black lens bracket. Oops, if this goes on, it won't be easy to make excuses. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. After all the people have evacuated, the panda's nose smells someone underground, and this guy will definitely run to the 5th floor by himself by then. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I must try my best to avoid this situation. Close black lens bracket. I don't want to wander around Shibuya alone where there are always premium products coming out. Suddenly, 2 figures appeared on the building in front of them. When they discovered each other, the other party spoke first. Are you high school magicians? Xia Youjie looked down at the 2 of them, and said coldly, surrender, if possible, we don't want to kill the magician. Open black lens bracket. Great. I'm worried that I can't find a reason to procrastinate. Close black lens bracket. Kusakabe was overjoyed, but his face remained calm. Of course I don't want to die, miss, but you can't say you want me to surrender, so I just raise my hand and surrender? Tell your story, in as much detail as possible. Ask for flowers, the old god Kusakabe is here. We are the ones who have inherited Master Xia Youjie's will. Since you are high school students, you shouldn't need us to say more, right? Surrender or not? I hate indecisive men the most. Advertisement, but the other party didn't say much, just 2 sentences. This made Kusakabe a little embarrassed. Open black lens bracket. Obviously it was a good opportunity to delay time, but in the end it was over after only 2 sentences. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. However, Bridge Bean Sack. Their level is already the most powerful among the guys on the ground right now. Close black lens bracket. Kusakabe's eyes changed, as if he had discovered a new continent. Open black lens bracket. Esperasi. Found a good way to pass the time. Close black lens bracket. 0. Open black lens bracket. I'll play with these 2 little dolls, so I don't have to go down there to fight super level curse spirits. Close black lens bracket. However, just as he had this thought, a violent explosion erupted in a building not far away. Boom. All of a sudden it was blazing, smoke and dust everywhere. Nani? What happened? Everyone present was attracted by the explosion. Soon, they saw 2 figures flying out of the smoke. And it flew out backwards, with blood all over its body. Apparently it was shot. Hiss. Kusakabe gasped involuntarily. No need to get close, he has already felt the majestic spell power from those 2 people. Obviously premium. Taking a closer look, one of them was the knotweed possessed by Sunuo, and the other was a special curse spirit. What the hell happened there? Even that level is. Before the words were finished, everyone saw a vague figure floating in the sky. I didn't notice the fluctuation of mana power, but it made people jump in fear. And what the figure said next shocked everyone even more on the spot. That's fine. Sunuo, that's all you can do? Gone. 118, that's it? Forget about Luhu. Sunuo, that's all you have. One is not that big, but the sound that resounds throughout Shibuya reverberates infinitely. Kusakabe, Panda and the others were all stunned, staring blankly at the 3 figures in the sky in shock. Open black lens bracket. Is this the battle between the special classes? It's scary. Close black lens bracket. The panda's dark circles widened, horrified in his heart. Open black lens bracket. This is really a disaster. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The situation right now is like. The children were about to fight, but they suddenly ran into a gang fight. Close black lens bracket. Kusakabe was also puzzled, and the kids he was talking about were just themselves. Open black lens bracket run away. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket I don't want to be involved in a fight between super bosses. Close black lens bracket. Kusakabe thought of quitting. The panda is also chanting, run, run, run. They all knew, 933, clearly that if their own abilities were affected together, they might die. And the sky. Sunuo and Lu Hu attack Bai Ye again. The blade with the concentrated spell power struck violently, causing gusts of wind. Brush. Sunuo's slash was slapped away by Bai Ye. He raised his hand to lightly block Lu Hu again, blocking his flame attack. The heat flow was divided into two by Bai Ye, and he was not affected at all in the middle. That's it? Bai Ye shook his head lightly. That's all you guys are capable of? Bai Ye's words angered the two of them instantly. Especially Leaky Coral. Among the curse spirits, he is also one of the best characters. But now he is underestimated by the other party one after another, which makes him extremely angry. It's just a mere human. What else can I say? You underestimate me too. Lu Hu let out a loud shout, furiously shot. With the seal of his hands, the lava gathered in his palm, gradually forming a magma flow. Boom. The magma erupted towards Bai Ye like a thick pillar. Wrap him in it instantly. It's not over yet. Anger made Lu Hu's voice change a bit. Advertisement. He used several spells in succession to envelop Bai Ye. Sunuo didn't make a move this time, and he could feel that Lu Hu's attack was unusual, and wanted to see if it had any effect on Bai Ye. And at this moment, Sunuo's eyes were startled, and Bai Ye suddenly appeared behind Lu Hu. Lu Hu's hands that were originally in seals were also cut off unconsciously. Boom. Bai Ye crossed his fingers, and tapped the top of Lu Hu's head with his index finger. A muffled sound came out. The small volcano above Lu Hu's head was directly crushed by the force of a finger, and then an irresistible force came. The body quickly fell towards a building. The reinforced concrete structure of the building is extremely fragile under Bai Ye's strength. Lu Hu was crushed by this force and smashed through the floor, falling to the bottom. As for Sunuo, Bai Ye had already disappeared from his sight just after he realized it. Just as he was about to distance himself, a hand was placed on his shoulder. Let him stand on his head with chills all over his body. Open black lens bracket when? Close black lens bracket Bai Ye pressed lightly. Sunuo plummeted straight down. Boom. He landed next to Lu Hu, and half of his body was buried in the ruins. Lu Hu's side is even more miserable. The whole body was stained red with blood. At this moment, both of them were covered with sweat, and their hearts were still terrified. Open black lens bracket this guy. If this body is not of knotweed, I am afraid I will be the same as that one. Close black lens bracket. Sunuo looked at Lu Hu's miserable appearance and felt sorry for her. And Lu Hu was even more horrified. Xia Youjie said that I have the strength of Sunuo's 8 or 9 fingers. I know that I have no chance of winning, and the defeat has long been expected. Open black lens bracket but I didn't expect the gap to be so big. Close black lens bracket. The most important thing is, Sunuo with 15 fingers has no power to fight back? Open black lens bracket. How strong is that guy? Close black lens bracket Bai Ye quietly landed not far from the two of them. Instead of attacking immediately, he gave them a little time to adjust. Kusakabe sighed. They were completely overwhelmed by Bai Ye's strength. Their eyes widened, their mouths opened wide, they forgot to run away, and stared blankly at the battle in the distance. Open black lens bracket amazing. Close black lens bracket advertisement. This is too foul, even if it is 5. Kusakabe seemed to have thought of something, and his face was immediately moved. Open black lens bracket is the rumor of the high school true? There really is a guy comparable to Gojo Satoru? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracketer. This guy is the idol Gojo Satoru said. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket no way. I always mistakenly thought that a man like Gojo Satoru was also a star chaser, but I didn't expect that there would be such a level of existence. Close black lens bracket. Sunuo, your ability is more than that, right? Continue to work hard. Before I get tired of playing, you guys have a little more strength. Bai Ye just stood there defenseless. Full of flaws, but no flaws. Open black lens bracket damn. It seems impossible to win against this guy. But at least let me see how embarrassed you are. Close black lens bracket. Sunuo's heart moved, and he ran directly to the pandas not far away. He wants to take the pandas as hostages. Let Bai Ye be afraid. Bai Ye naturally understood his thoughts, but he didn't move at all. Lu Hu also took action at this time. Extreme fan, fall. A flaming meteorite appeared in the sky. A huge meteorite is coming towards Bai Ye. Seeing the pandas, they were terrified. If they are affected, they are likely to die. Listen to me. Curse Masters, now is not the time for us to be against each other. The Battle of Super Bosses 4.0 is like an elephant tap dancing on top of a little ant. I'm afraid you will misunderstand, let me explain, we are ants. So, hurry up and escape together. Kusakabe woke up with a start and said so immediately. However, his voice had just fallen. Sunuo has already appeared beside them. That can't be done. From now on, all those present are not allowed to take any action. Those who dare to disobey will be killed. It was just a sentence, and everyone didn't dare to move more. After getting close, they could feel the terrifying aura on Sunuo's body, as if they would die if they moved a little. But what frightened them even more was that such a terrifying Sunuo had no power to fight back against that mysterious man. How strong is he? 119. This is not a little stronger at all, please subscribe. In the sky, the huge meteorite rubbed against the atmosphere to produce violent sparks, reflecting the entire sky. But Bai Ye didn't move at all. Seeing Bai Ye's indifferent face, Sunuo clicked his tongue. Open black lens bracket call. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket. That guy is indifferent. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket. Doesn't he care about the lives of these people? Close black lens bracket. Lu Hu was equally astonished. Open black lens bracket. He didn't escape. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Never go to rescue those people. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket. Do you have the confidence to block this blow, or have you been scared out of your wits? Close black lens bracket. As the meteorite approaches, the surrounding air heats up. Kusakabe and Panda were sweating on their foreheads at this moment, and they all pinned their hopes on Bai Ye. But Bai Ye didn't make any movements, just stood there, looked up at the meteorite falling at a high speed above his head, and a smile crossed the corner of his mouth. Open black lens bracket call. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket. Since you don't care, I'll wait for the meteorite to get closer before letting them go. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I don't believe you can be saved. Close black lens bracket. Sunuo didn't believe that Bai Ye was capable of directly resisting this blow. According to his understanding of Bai Ye, in the end he still has to rescue the high school magician. Therefore, he waited until the meteorite was close to the roof before letting everyone leave. After getting the letter number 15 that they could leave, Panda and the others retreated desperately without any delay. At this time, the meteorite collided with the building, and a violent explosion erupted. In just an instant, the surrounding environment was completely destroyed. The terrifying breath of destruction swept everything. This blow is destined to bring about an unparalleled explosion. Open black lens bracket. Even if it is him, it is impossible to be unscathed. Close black lens bracket. Seeing that Bai Ye didn't evade, and was directly hit by his own attack, he let out a secret thought in his heart. Open black lens bracket. He will definitely be injured too. The premise is that he can hit it. Close black lens bracket. Even Sunuo wondered in his heart whether Bai Ye would be irreparably injured by this blow. Both are awaiting the outcome of the blow, however. Next moment, the expected explosion did not happen. Instead, there was a small clicking sound. What's going on? Lu Hu was puzzled. Good guy. You can even get here. Sunuo was in shock. At the same time, below the meteorite, Bai Ye used two techniques at the same time. Advertisement, unlimited spells, and 10-stroke spells. The infinite spell prevented the meteorite from falling further, as if frozen in time, unable to get closer to Bai Ye by an inch. And the 10 transformation mantra directly divides the meteorite into 7/3 points, and hits the forcibly created weakness with a punch. Just one hit. The entire meteorite cracked from Bai Ye's fist and spread out quickly. Click. Click. The crackling sound gradually spread. Finally, with a clicking sound, the entire meteorite was covered with cracks. Then, in a burst of light, the meteorite disintegrated directly. There was no imaginary explosion, let alone a torrential heatwave. There is just silence. Deathly silence. All meteorite fragments are frozen at that second. With the disappearance of the blooming light, the meteorites landed one by one, bringing up traces of dust. And in the center of these meteorite fragments, Bai Ye's clothes are as old as before, spotless. Quite a detached taste, outside the battlefield. Kusakabe, who struggled to escape, was equally horrified. He stopped running for his life and looked back, only to see that the huge meteorite had been broken into pieces. Hey, isn't this too outrageous? He had seen Gojo Satoru's ability before, and once thought that it was the limit of what human beings could achieve, but now comparing it to Bai Ye, he felt a creepy feeling. I don't think even Gojo Satoru can do this, and the panda was even more frightened. He was almost so scared that he let out a panda cry. Inside the battlefield, Sunuo looked at Bai Ye quietly, unable to regain consciousness for a long time. Liu Hu stood still on the spot. The mouth opened, and finally only one sentence came out. How can this be? Even Sunuo felt unbelievable. Obviously it has hit. That's right, it was indeed a hit. Bai Ye's tone was very calm. It's a pity that it's still a little too late. Expand the field, otherwise you have no chance of winning. The field cannot be expanded, Lu Hu shouted suddenly. I don't know how your domain strength is, but it will definitely not be stronger than that guy. Lu Hu yelled at Sunuo. Because you have ever lost to Wu Tiao? Thinking like a lost dog. But I'm also a little bit interested, so let's use Lu Hu's best moves to play with you. Advertisement, Sunuo, are you okay? As Bai Ye said, flames of mana condensed burst out of his hands. For a moment, both Lu Hu and Sunuo felt terrified. Although the flame in Bai Ye's hand was very weak, it terrified the two of them. Obviously, Bai Ye is about to show a little strength. The flame exploded centered on the three of them. Soaring into the sky, the smoke and dust are everywhere. The surrounding buildings are completely vulnerable, and they were destroyed by the battle. Lu Hu's full attack, Sunuo's full attack, and Bai Ye's methods destroyed all the buildings within a radius of more than 500 meters. Kusakabe and the others outside the court were deeply terrified. The flames dissipated. I saw three figures standing still, and no one spoke for a long time. A little over the top, after a long time, a voice broke the silence. It was Bai Ye who spoke at 517. His clothes are as old as they are old, and they are spotless. Sunuo's mouth and nose were bleeding, and his body shook a little. Lu Hu was covered in flames and was already out of human form. In a trance, Liu Hu seemed to see her companion. There are Hua Yu and Tuo Liang. They are waiting for him. I'm sorry, the shot was a bit heavy, Bai Ye said with a serious face. At this time, he finally had a preliminary understanding of his combat power, and finally experienced Saitama's pain. Bai Ye thought for a while and said again, however, compared to all the curse spirits I have fought against, you are pretty good. Be proud. You are strong. This sentence, Bai Ye is serious. Lu Hu is the strongest of all the magic spirits he has fought against. If it is not strong, it is impossible to withstand his initial attack. However, I don't know if Lu Hu heard it or not, because he has been reduced to ashes at this time. Completely eradicated. Open black lens bracket. Speaking of which, your opponents are always this kind. Over spec. Close black lens bracket. Bai Ye sighed softly in his heart, then looked at Sunuo and said, it seems that you and I are a little bit better than him by a little bit. Bai Ye stretched out his hand and gestured with his index finger and thumb. Sunuo's mouth twitched. Open black lens bracket. This is not a little stronger at all. Close black lens bracket. 120 Sunuola's foreign aid, against Mo Zuluo, subscription required. With the end of Lu Hu, only Bai Ye and Sunuo are left on the battlefield. Even so, Sunuo is confident that he will not be killed by Bai Ye. Unless the opponent wants the knotweed to die, but obviously this is impossible. Although there is the protection of knotweed, Sunuo dare not be too arrogant. Because he felt powerless against Bai Ye's strength. Bai Ye was not in a hurry to act, because he sensed that another person was coming here. Not long. A figure appeared on the battlefield. The other party looked at Bai Ye vigilantly, and did not feel relieved after not sensing the magic power from Bai Ye. Lord Sunuo, I'm here to pick you up, the man said to Sunuo respectfully. Who are you? Ah, is it Lai Mei? Yes, long time no see, how are you? The two are old acquaintances and are reminiscing about the past. After a while, Sunuo said to Li Mei with a solemn expression, Li Mei, help me hold this guy for a while, I'm in a hurry, come as soon as you go. Li Mei didn't even look at Bai Ye directly, and then replied directly, yes. Be careful, this guy is very strong, even I have to use external force to deal with him. After Sunuo finished speaking, he left immediately. Bai Ye didn't want to stop him either. With Sunuo's warning, Li Mei began to pay attention to Bai Ye and looked at her carefully. There is no fluctuation in spell power, but Master Sunuo is afraid. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Is it a layman? Or do you have special means? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The whole body is full of flaws. If I act now, there are 1,000 ways to kill him. Close black lens bracket. However, Master Sunuo's appearance just now is definitely not a joke. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This guy definitely has super strength. Close black lens bracket. Lai Mei really can't see through Bai Ye. But Bai Ye sees them thoroughly. There is a certain relationship between Li Mei, Sunuo and Luo Suo. Advertisement. Although it's just Bai Ye's guess, it's just not sure yet, but the general direction is definitely correct. Not to mention that Luo Suo and Sunuo were contemporaries, just talk about Li Mei. Not only assisting Luo Suo, but also Sunuo's former partner, you can know that the relationship between the three of them is not simple. After a confrontation, Li Mei took the lead in attacking Bai Ye. But, when she moved behind Bai Ye, A strong uneasiness surged from her heart. Immediately retracting his hands and backing away, pulling away a long enough distance, Lime's forehead was slightly sweaty. Open black lens bracket. This guy. What's going on? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Obviously full of flaws, obviously very casual stance. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. But why was that moment so terrifying just now? Open black lens bracket. If you made a move just now, you will definitely be killed by him. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. No wonder Master Sunuo is so solemn. Close black lens bracket. Li Mei was terrified. At the same time, on Sunuo's side, he found Fu Hei. Without saying a single word, he directly took Fu Hei away. Return to the battlefield soon. After asking Sunuo to control him, Fu Hei quickly distanced himself, but when he saw Bai Ye not far away, he suddenly became nervous. One Sunuo is enough trouble, now that guy also appears here. Fu Heiwei still doesn't know the details of Bai Ye, and he is sure whether he is an enemy or a friend. Fu Heiwei, let's join forces to deal with that guy. Sunuo said, pointing at Bai Ye. Open black lens bracket. Saw. Let me see how you deal with it. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Will you do anything to these two brats? Close black lens bracket. Sunuo knew a little bit about Bai Ye's background, and there was a smile on the corner of his mouth at this time. Huh? Fu Heiwei was surprised. Is he your enemy? He is also my enemy? Don't you humans have a saying that, the enemy of your enemy is your friend? No, it's not confirmed yet. Just now he almost killed someone from Gaojian, right? And Gojo Satoru was sealed, and his contribution was indispensable. Sunuo said coldly. I guess, he was the one who messed up during the exchange meeting, right? I knew early on that there would be a special grade curse spirit infiltrating, but I didn't tell you. Who knows what he wants to do? Advertisement. Sunuo spoke out his guess. Fu Hei, who was not so hostile to Bai Ye before, suddenly became a little angry. Open black lens bracket. Indeed, for Sunuo, as long as the knotweed is still alive, there must be a way to get rid of it. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. But that guy doesn't know his background at all. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Although I don't quite believe Sunuo's words, my intuition tells me that keeping him alive is definitely a big problem. Especially Wu Jiao teacher has been sealed. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I haven't found the idol, the teacher said. Even if I found it, I might not be able to beat him. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Even if Senior Yibone is counted, he may not be his opponent. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Taking advantage of Sunuo now, getting rid of him is the best solution. Close black lens bracket. Fu Heiwei considered a lot, and finally decided to join forces with Su temporarily. Fu Heiwei, summon that guy. Otherwise, it's impossible to beat me. Maybe you can take the opportunity to subdue me? Bai Ye always had a smile on his face, without wavering in the slightest. And his words made Fu Heiwei even more afraid of him. Although 10 kinds of shadow spells is not such a dark secret, even in history, that thing has never appeared a few times. After Lime left, Fu Heiwei also summoned that existence according to what Bai Ye said. This B************ D-boy. He actually shot Lord Bai Ye. Obey, I will always wait for your return. As the mantra was uttered, a group of Shikigami who were subdued by Fuhei were summoned, and they all roared to the sky, as if they were performing some kind of ritual in cooperation with Fuhei. Even Sunuo didn't dare to underestimate the powerful coercion. There are not many people who know it, and even he learned it from Wu Jiaoyu. Shi-er noticed that Fu Hei had been captured by Sunuo, and rushed over immediately, just in time to see them teaming up to deal with Bai Ye Pai. Once released, the consequences would be disastrous. 8 swords and different rings. God General Mo Zuluo. Lime, get out of here first. You can't slack off in the preparations for the unfinished business. P.S. I will never write niche articles again. It's the same without updating. A moment later, a huge figure emerged from the shadow behind Fu Hei. As soon as Fu Hei makes a move, it is a big move, directly starting the subduing ceremony, and it is compulsory for 3 people to participate. Nubub Yura Yura. The horror of that thing, even the owner of the 6 eyes in history is dead. On the roof in the distance. In other words, from now on, Bai Ye and the 3 of them must defeat Mo Zuluo. Okay. If you can get rid of the serious trouble here, Fu Heiwei will spare no effort. 121 The strongest Shikigami, the worthy king of spells, subscribe. Hee, the strongest Shikigami? Then let me have a taste of you. Bai Ye smiled slightly and whispered something. Mo Zuluo held the sword of expelling demons and attacked Bai Ye first. One blow hit Bai Ye. Boom, Bai Ye didn't dodge, just raised his hand and blocked the attack with one finger. When the fingers touched the sword, there was a sound of gold and iron colliding. The powerful impact shattered the stone slab under Bai Ye's feet. But Mo Zuluo also trembled in his arms. Roar! Mo Zuluo roared unwillingly. Suddenly a powerful spell came from Moxuluo's blade. Bai Ye did not evade his sharpness, but was direct and tough, with a light finger lift. Mo Zuluo immediately took 2 steps back. Bai Ye took the opportunity to come to Mo Zuluo's side, and resorted to the trapping style of removing the factory. 3 sharp blades attacked Mo Zuluo, puff puff. 3 deep blood marks were left on Mo Zuluo's body. Su Nuo's eyes narrowed slightly. Open black lens bracket. This guy. Did you use my technique just now? Close black lens bracket. No longer watching from the sidelines, he also shot Bai Ye. Fu Hei also summoned other Shikigami to attack Bai Ye. Moxulaw used this time to recover from his injuries. Clang clang clang. A crisp sound came from behind Mo Zuluo, and with the rotation of the gears, the wound on Mo Zuluo's body healed instantly. Then attack Bai Ye and the others indiscriminately. Su Nuo was the first to bear the brunt of 837. Su Nuo directly used the spell, slash. But what surprised him was that his slash was bounced off by the demon-expelling sword in Mo Zuluo's hand. Open black lens bracket. Could it be able to see my spells? Close black lens bracket. Without giving Su Nuo time to think, Mo Zuluo struck again with his sword. Su Nuo raised his hand to block, but was blown away by the powerful impact. There was no further attack on Su Nuo. Moxulaw has his eyes on Bai Ye, and it can perceive that among the 3, Bai Ye poses the greatest threat to it. Before attacking Bai Ye, the formation behind it had already turned. It seems to want to see through the falsehood. It is said to be a magic circle, but it is actually a kind of language, Bu-Ru's words. A spell that can bring the dead back to life. With the complete circulation and harmony of the magic circle, it has the adaptability to everything in the world. Before making a move, it also wanted to deduce the best way to deal with Bai Ye. Advertisement, however, no matter how it deduces, the result it gets will be overturned by itself every time. It was as if the enemy in front of him didn't have the most suitable way to deal with it. No solution. During this period, Fu Heiwei commanded Shikigami to attack Bai Ye. The more they fought, the more frightened he was. Jade Dog's Claw, BFBJ, is effective even at the special level, but in the end it doesn't pose any threat to him. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Knee's attack was also completely blocked by him. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Mo Zuluo seems to be still looking for a way to deal with him. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Damn it, it's too strong. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Even in such a short fight, I can feel his terror. Why do powerful guys always appear on the enemy's side? Close black lens bracket. Finally, after another moment of speculation, Mo Zuluo made his move. The sword of expelling demons aimed at Bai Ye's head and slashed hard. Fu Hei also shot at the right time. Snapped. Bai Ye clapped his hands together. Activate the spell. In Justice Game, his and Moxuluo's positions were reversed. Moxulaw became the target of Fu Hei and Bai Ye. Boom. Bai Ye clenched his fist and slammed down Mo Zuluo directly to the ground. In an instant, a huge pit appeared on the ground due to the huge pressure. Brush. At this moment, Su Nuo also returned to the battlefield and used a slash attack on Bai Ye. But, snapped. Bai Ye clapped his hands together. Swap with Moxulaw again. Unprepared, Mo Zuluo took another heavy blow. Hateful. Do you unconditionally imitate other people's spells? Su Nuo secretly guessed Bai Ye's ability. So far, no one knows exactly what Bai Ye's technique is. Gojo Satoru once asked Bai Ye this question, but only got a vague answer. But now, Su Nuo's guess is already very close to the correct answer. It seems that it is impossible to defeat him by consuming mana. Can I just give it a go? Several attacks in succession were all resolved by Bai Ye, and it seemed that the magic power was not consumed at all, which made Su Nuo have to treat it with caution. Forget it, let Mo Zuluo consume his physical strength first. Su Nuo hurriedly stepped back and watched from the sidelines, hoping to see through Bai Ye's magic formula and find a way to break it. And Mo Zuluo didn't look at Su Nuo anymore, and its current target is only on Bai Ye. Advertisement. He was punched by Bai Ye again. Bai Ye made seals with his hands, and looked at Fu Hei vaguely. Open black lens bracket. That gesture is. Close black lens bracket. Fu Hei naturally knew what Bai Ye was doing, so he was only terrified now. Narobe Yura Yura. What Bai Ye cast was 10 shadow spells. Directly summon another Moxulaw. It was subdued by Bai Ye, the stronger one, Wudao. The coercion emanating from it is completely unmatched by the one summoned by Fu Hei. A rough estimate is at least 10 times stronger. Fu Hei was shocked. The same is true for Su Nuo. You must know that Mo Zuluo has even defeated the unlimited magician with 6 eyes. It's not something special can measure, but right now, the opponent actually summoned one that was 10 times stronger. Open black lens bracket, damn it. How'd I fight this? Close black lens bracket, Fu Heiwei couldn't think of a way to win. Open black lens bracket, can you even do this? Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, it really makes people feel excited and scared. Close black lens bracket. Su Nuo was also shocked. Go, get rid of it. Bai Ye pointed to Mo Zuluo summoned by Fu Hei. Sure enough, the two Moxalaw immediately started fighting. The Born Domain can be realized without closing the enchantment. Moreover, through the restrained blessing of leaving an escape route for the opponent, the range of the must-hit effect has been greatly improved, and the maximum radius of the covered area can reach 200 meters. Su Nuo's domain is different from other domains, and the space will not be separated by barriers. The moment Bai Ye realized it, he kicked Fu Heiwei towards Shi, and Shi, who had been waiting outside, decisively took the unconscious Fu Hei and retreated far enough away. Make a surgical starting gesture. Fortunately, the battlefield has been transferred from the original position, so the people who are still taking refuge in Shibuya have not been affected. It took less than 0.001 second for Su Nuo's domain to unfold, and the control of the domain was no longer in his hands. Bai Ye also expanded the field, however, and Su Nuo also used his trump card at this time. Bai Ye, who was in the Su Nuo field, smiled at the corner of his mouth. Has it started yet? Cast Ba on creatures with spell power within the range of the effect, and use Resolution on non-creatures. High-end ingredients often only require the simplest cooking method. Su Nuo's knife skills are divided into 2 types. Chef of Fumo, Field Expansion, 122 The real, person who island still living in a dream. Shocked, Su Nuo, who lost control of the domain, was extremely shocked. He looked at Bai Ye with serious eyes. His cognition has been refreshed once again. Open black lens bracket, damn. What else can he not do? Close black lens bracket, it's clearly his domain, but now he's become a fish on the chopping board instead. Especially he can feel that the domain after being taken away has been strengthened. The slashes of Ba kept impacting on his body, which made him overwhelmed. Not to mention Mo Zuluo, who was also in the domain, fell to the ground in just a moment. Boom. Bai Ye punched Knotweed in the stomach. He didn't suffer much damage on the outside, but Su Nuo in the body of the Knotweed had bleeding from the corner of his mouth. Can even touch the soul? Amazing. Although Su Nuo was very unwilling, Bai Ye had such an impact on him that even he felt like he was going to faint. Boom boom boom. Another few punches. Bai Ye directly beat up Su Nuo and passed out. The domain also disappears at the same time. As for Mo Zuluo, he had already been defeated. The dust settled. Shi appeared with Fu Hei. Lord Bai Ye. Let the curse bone send Fu Hei away. After Bai Ye finished speaking, he directly summoned a curse skeleton and rushed to a safe point with Fu Hei. Metropolitan Expressway number 3 Shibuya Line. The toll booth here was transformed into a temporary rescue point by the High Commissioner. At this time, Jirui Nidzi and Noctuma Jungdao were chatting here. Advertisement: the task of Jirui is to use the reversal technique to heal the injured in this battle, and the mission of Noctuid is to protect the safety of Jirui here. After all, even if it is a high school, there is only one person who can use the reversal technique to heal others. She belongs to the existence of national treasure level. It can allow a certain degree of wounded to return to the battlefield in the first time. It is no exaggeration to say that she is related to the success or failure of this battle to a certain extent. Although some cursed spirits occasionally appeared here, they were all dealt with by the cursed skeletons of Noctuma Righteous Way. While the two of them were chatting, a black figure suddenly appeared in their sight. The speed is extremely fast. That black shadow didn't look like a human being, and he quickly left here after putting down Fu Hei. The speed was so fast that Noctua Jungdao wondered if he had read it wrong. If Fu Hei hadn't suddenly appeared here, he wouldn't have believed his eyes at all. Open black lens bracket, the one I saw just for a moment is a cursed skeleton. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, how is it possible that there is such a level of cursed skeleton? Who made it? Close black lens bracket. Night Moth Jungdao was terrified. As the father of the panda, he naturally knows how difficult it is to make a powerful mantra. But now, he saw with his own eyes a cursed skeleton whose level was close to super. How can I not be surprised? Even the neighbor beside him was amazed. His small mouth was slightly opened, and the smoke in his mouth fell to the ground unknowingly. Open black lens bracket, what was that just now? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Principal Night Moth's new cursed skeleton. Close black lens bracket. Jia Ruozi looked at Yi Mo Jungdao with a surprised face, but found that the other party was also surprised. Open black lens bracket, it's not the principal. Could it be said that there are people who are more proficient in curse bones than the principal? Close black lens bracket. After knocking out Sunuo, Bai Ye glanced at a building not far away. He said to himself, next, it's time to play a game of cat and mouse. Is it finally here? Not far away, the scene of the reunion with the younger brothers appeared. Advertisement. He'd already learned the truth from bad looks and bloodstains. Asking for flowers. Facing Bai Ye again, Baoshang's expression was a bit strange, and after waiting for a few seconds, he said, I am willing to submit to your banner, but before that, there is one more thing that I must personally confirm. As you like. Bai Ye knew what Baoshang was going to do, but he didn't care. Well, thank you very much for saving my brother's lives. When Bai Ye turned around, Bao bowed and bowed to Bai Ye to thank him. Bai Ye didn't respond, and just left here, inside the building. Knotweed, who was transferred here, woke up faintly, recalling the scene of fighting Bai Ye, which shocked him extremely. In order to find the Knotweed as soon as possible, the real person separated his avatar and acted at both ends. Knotweed felt that his thoughts just now were a little crazy, but he calmed down quickly. Dojinzaka Alley, however, what he didn't know was that not long ago, Sunuo had just fought against Bai Ye and lost. They met each other on a narrow road, and no one noticed Bai Ye, who was not far away. 0. That man is so strong, even Sunuo was defeated by him. In order to defeat Bai Ye with the power of Sunuo, Jianren is now a little crazy. The doppelganger of the real person happened to bump into Wild Rose Nagasaki, who came here to search and rescue civilians. Now is not the time to think about these things. I'm going to kill the enemy, then rescue Wuqiao teacher. If a real person sees Bai Ye here, he will definitely not stay for even a second longer. Wouldn't it be him that the idol that Gojo Sensei mentioned as him? Yuzhang Yoren, replace Sunuo, and the other side. Apart from anything else, the real person directly launched an attack on the Knotweed. Just when the Knotweed was about to set off, the main body of the real person came up. 123 Brother Chang Ride's face output, real people show beauty, subscription required. The two met each other on a narrow road and were shocked at the same time. Wow, did you see that just now? Isn't it scary? I was just wandering around there. The real people are talking about the destruction caused by the Battle of Luhu, Sunuo and Bai Ye. Put on a look of fear. Nozaki also took a serious look at Masato. Patch face. It turns out that you are the super-level curse spirit who always comes to harass that idiot in our family. Nagasaki Rose recognized the real person. Oh, so I'm so famous? Yes, I heard that you were the best at running away with your tail between your legs. Nagasaki began to speak venomously. It's good to see, 187, and you are still worth killing? The anger in Taoist's heart was ignited. Open black lens bracket. It's fine if it's that guy, but he's just a young sorcerer who doesn't even have a superclass. How dare he look down on me? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Unforgivable. Close black lens bracket. If it was Bai Ye, why would the real person talk so much here? He would have already started running away. What a coincidence. I'm unlucky enough today. At least I have to exorcise a fleeing little bug with my own hands. Nagasaki took out the magic tool while venomously speaking. But she didn't dare to be careless when facing a real person. The other party was a superclass after all. When communicating with Knotweed and the others before, she already knew that she should not be touched by the opponent's hand, otherwise her soul would be attacked. So she didn't rush forward rashly, but launched a long-distance attack. But real people also have their own minds. Judging from her tone just now, she should have a very close relationship with Knotweed Yuren. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Then use this woman's body to defeat the soul of Notabagi Yuhito. Close black lens bracket. A sinister smile appeared on the corner of the real person's mouth. But with Bai Ye here, his plot is doomed to fail. Advertisement. While Nagasaki was fighting with the real person, the battle between the Knotweed and the real person was also extremely fierce. There are comings and goings on both sides, and the fight is inseparable. The Knotweed stick is for melee combat, while Nozaki is for long-range attack and defense. Open black lens bracket. Damn, you can't get close to that guy, it's too difficult to cause useful damage. Close black lens bracket. In the case of keeping a distance, but also to deal a blow to the real person, it will undoubtedly increase the difficulty for Nagasaki's attack method. Just when Nozaki was in a dilemma, Bai Ye's voice rang in her ears. Nagasaki Wild Rose, he is just a clone. Although he can change his own form, he cannot transform human beings or affect other people's souls. You can use that to replan. Bai Ye's voice is so soft that only Kazaki can hear it. She was a little wary at first, but she relaxed again when she heard it later. Open black lens bracket. This voice again. Who the hell is he? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. However, with this information, it is a great help. Close black lens bracket. You can continue to pretend to be scared, so as to find a flaw and kill with one blow. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Arigato, the mysterious man. Close black lens bracket. Nagasaki thanked Bai Ye in his heart, but his face remained calm, still showing a troubled look. Soon, she had a countermeasure. Masato didn't see the problem and was confused by Nagasaki's appearance. Even a little arrogant. How many times do I have to tell you that these are useless to me? You should have known that already. Sometimes, even if people know that there will be no results, they still need to try hard. Nozaki continued to be confused. Huh? Are you stupid? Seeing Nagasaki's strenuous look, Masato was even more relaxed. And Nagasaki also seized this opportunity, jumped directly to the second floor, watched the real person walk into his trap, smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth, and then let go and dropped a nail. I'll see you off. Snapped. The moment the nail hit the ground, Nozaki snapped his fingers and activated the spell, hairpin. At the same time, in a dazed state, the real person jumped down from the second floor. This is to ride the face output, advertisement, again. Hairpin. Kinozaki uses the technique again. Immediately, the nails she had thrown on the road were wrapped in magic power, forming sharp blades that pierced the real person's legs in an instant. Movement is restricted. Nozaki also fell from the second floor, took out a nail and aimed it between the real man's eyebrows. At this time, Masato still didn't understand what he was about to face, and even thought that all the actions Nozaki had done were useless. Open black lens bracket. Even if this blow hits me, so what? Close black lens bracket. Resonance. Nozaki's technique is activated, in the blink of an eye. The body that was fighting with the knotweed here was hit hard. Nagasaki's mana burst out on the main body. After a while, the injury from the main body returned to the body of the clone. Puff. Spit out a mouthful of blood. A solid blow to the soul of the real man. Open black lens bracket. No way. No way. Close black lens bracket. Jianren looked at the young sorcerer in disbelief, and 4.3 feet's face was full of disbelief. Open black lens bracket. My natural enemies are not only knotweed and that guy. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This magician in front of me can also cause damage to me. Close black lens bracket. Nozaki was a little happy when he succeeded in one blow. Open black lens bracket. Sure enough, this guy is just a clone. You can't use spells at all. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Otherwise, he would have solved it just now. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Mysterious man. I really love you to death. Close black lens bracket. As for the knotweed stick, they also took the opportunity to hit the real person's body with a black flash. Then there was a series of punches back. The real person showed his beauty. 124 Take Nagasaki Wild Rose. The real person who turned into two bodies met two natural enemies at the same time, so they are naturally not opponents. In order to avoid the ending of being expelled, he can only choose to become one again. The main body and the avatar get rid of the pursuit of the knotweed and Nozaki respectively, and approach each other. Inside the station. Go through one floor. Two real people meet. Nagasaki and Kozaki, who followed behind in pursuit, also arrived one after another. Open black lens bracket. There are two real people. Close black lens bracket. The moment he saw the two real people, knotweed knew that the real people had created clones, and acted separately. Right now it's about coming together and repairing the damage. However, the next moment, the two real people passed by each other and did not become one. At this time, Nozaki also arrived here. However, due to the problem of perspective, she did not realize that the two real people had exchanged. Moreover, due to the previous battle with the clone, she relaxed her vigilance against the palm of the real person. In an instant, Knotweed 15 realized something was wrong. Shouted. Run away. Nagasaki, however, his reminder was a bit late after all. Masato was already approaching Kagezaki. Snapped. A crisp sound sounded. No one noticed that at the moment Masato was about to touch Nagasaki, a palm appeared there, blocking Masato's blow. Even the real person didn't notice the abnormality and thought he had succeeded. Haha, what an idiot, I was touched firmly, the real person said proudly after a successful blow. At the same time, his clone was also punched away by the knotweed stick. Without continuing to make up the knife, the knotweed quickly ran towards Nagasaki. He was worried about Kazaki's situation. And the complacent Taoist also slowly raised his hand, the mantra gathered in the palm of his hand, and he was about to activate the spell. Open black lens bracket. Okay, this will defeat the spirit of Notabagi Yuhito, close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Nagasaki stood there in a daze as if he had been frozen. At that moment, she was really frightened, and even the past flashed through her mind, like a revolving lantern. But it was later discovered that the palm of the real person did not touch her. On the contrary, the position of the back of the neck seemed to be hid by a hand knife, and the consciousness became a little blurred. She didn't understand what happened, but speculated that she was finally contacted by a real person. Knotweed. Tell everyone for me, it's nice to meet you. As soon as the voice fell, Kagezaki lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Other than that, there was no mutation on the body. Appearance unhurt. But fell down? The real person is also very puzzled. Generally speaking, the places he touched should have some changes after he activated the spell. But apart from fainting, Nagasaki Wild Rose looked the same as usual. Is it directly acting on the soul? While he was muttering, Notabagi looked at Nagasaki, who was lying on the ground, and suddenly his heart was burning with anger. No. Can't. Kagezaki. Seeing the appearance of Polygonum cuspidatum, Jianren was about to burst out laughing now. You're in the knotweed, come out in exchange for Sunuo. You can't do anything. The real person seized the opportunity of Knotweed's stupefaction and launched an attack on Knotweed. While attacking, he laughed at the same time. Dare to come to Shibuya with your superficial knowledge? Too fantastic. Brat. This is a war. Stop trying to help others, you can't save anyone. You are the same as me, we are all cursed, let's change Sushang and come out. Let's put Nuo out and let's kill all human beings together and build a future that belongs to the curse. Knotweed didn't respond to the real person's attack, and was directly knocked down to the ground. Even so, Bai Ye, who had been keeping secret all this time, didn't make a move. Knotweed still needs exercise, advertisement mental exercise. If he makes a move, there will be a big problem with the psychology of the knotweed stick, and maybe he will be devastated because of it. This is Bai Ye's judgment. What's more, in order to avoid a worse situation, he has directed Dongdu Aoi, who came to Shibuya to help, to come here. He believes that Dongtang Kui, a close friend, will definitely help Polygonum cuspidatum rebuild its psychological defense. And Dongtang Kui lived up to expectations, at the very moment when the real person was going to kill the knotweed to force Sunuo to come out. The knotweed was rescued successfully. Jianren was a little surprised that the shot he was aiming to win fell through. Seeing Dongtang Aoi not far away, he was surprised. Open black lens bracket. What happened? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This man has a scar on his face. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. He is the sorcerer who pushed Hana into a desperate situation. Close black lens bracket. The real person recognized Todo Aoi at a glance. Senior Todo. At this time, a figure appeared in the distance. It's a first-year freshman at Kyoto School, 630, Natada Shin. Came here with Todo. Senior Dongtang, I have already done emergency treatment for that girl over there. But she is probably dead, because she can't feel any breathing, and then don't put the responsibility on me. Stop talking nonsense, the knotweed stick is also handed over to you. After a while, under Shin Tianshin's treatment, Polygonum cuspidatum woke up. Dongtang. I can no longer fight. Kagezaki is dead, and even Nanamakai is still alive and dead. I once decided to help more people, but the curse. Sunuo is in my body, one day my hands will be covered with blood. I don't want to be that kind of murderer, I might as well die as soon as possible. Kaganazaki, who fainted, is here. Bai Ye slowly emerged. Release. After lifting his spell, Fake Death, he personally took Wild Rose and left the battlefield. 125 Unexpected. I am transformed. Bai Ye's residence. This place has long been protected by the enchantment he arranged, and the degree of protection of this enchantment cannot be broken by even a super-level spell spirit. Besides, there are also multiple curse skeletons arranged around, and each curse skeleton has a level comparable to that of a super-grade curse spirit, and is used to protect Riko Amai and Misato Kuroi, who stayed here. What happened to Shibuya? Brother Bai Ye will be fine. Riko walked around the room with some anxiety. Ever since the Shibuya accident, Bai Ye's cell phone has been disconnected, and even Gojo Satoru couldn't get in touch, which made Riko very worried. Although she knew that Bai Ye was very strong, but such a big thing happened in Shibuya, anyone would worry about the person who cared. What's more, she hasn't expressed her feelings to Bai Ye yet. Well, Kuroi Misato next to her saw this appearance of Riko, and shook her head helplessly. She also knew a little about Bai Ye's strength. After all, he was the one who could save Lizzie from the Master Magician back then, so she wasn't worried at all. Master Riko, can you sit down and rest for a while? Kuroi Misato complained with some headaches. You have been turning around like this for several hours, and my head is dizzy because of you. That's because my brother's mobile phone can't be reached. Riko showed a wronged look. Ya backquote. Tilde operator. Misato sighed again, resting her head with her hands in a speechless manner, and then said helplessly. Okay, you can turn around for a while. And at this moment, there was the sound of the door opening in the room. After hearing the sound of the door opening, an excited expression appeared on Riko's face, and she ran to the door immediately, and even Misato Kuroi followed. However, when they saw Bai Ye appearing at the door, Their faces darkened at the same time. Advertisement. I saw another girl in Bai Ye's arms, and this girl was obviously younger than them. For a moment, an angry look appeared on Riko's originally worried face. So this is all. I like people who are younger than me. Disgusting sister-in-law. And took the other party home. Is it ready to do something good? I'm really superfluous. I'm worried that he is too superfluous. Riko's face was full of anger. Even Kuroi Misato looked at Bai Ye suspiciously. But soon, they discovered that the uniform the girl was wearing was the uniform of the High School of Conjuration. The emotions of the two also calmed down instantly. This girl is? Kuroi Misato asked, looking at Nagasaki, who was put on the sofa by Bai Ye. Nagasaki Wild Rose, a first-year high school in magic arts, is Wu's student. Bai Ye explained to the two in a flat tone. What, so it's Wu's student? Riko burst into a sunny smile in an instant. She fell into a coma during the battle, and it will take some time before she wakes up. I will trouble you during this period. Bai Ye said so and walked out the door. Before Bai Ye walked out of the room, Riko couldn't help calling softly. Bai Ye stopped immediately, turned around and said, What's the matter, Lizzie? Advertisement. After staring at Bai Ye for a while, Lizzie, who was hesitant to speak several times, finally shook his head, and then said with a firm expression, Be careful all the way. Bai Ye smiled lightly, then walked over and rubbed Riko's head, saying, Don't worry, nothing will happen. At this time, Misato made a questioning voice, leaned over to Riko, and said with a smirk, Riko likes to be patted on the head. Nuo Wangs, huh? Really? Misato asked suspiciously. After confirming the situation here, day and night did not stay here. P.S. Unexpectedly, the author has changed. Bai Ye returned to Shibuya Station again. At this time, Riko still lowered her head slightly, her cheeks were a little red, not to mention how happy she was. HMPH. I don't like being patted on the head, especially that idiot brother. He wants to go and persuade Qihai Jianren to use him for himself and prepare for the formation of his own power. After finishing, Bai Ye left here. Brother Bai Ye hasn't touched my head for a long time. After leaving the residence. But her hand was slapped away by Riko at the first time, and at the same time she received a blank stare. Instead, go to the place where Jijimaru is temporarily hiding, because Nanami Jianren woke up not long ago. There is no need for him to take action here, the real person has not yet fully evolved, and the real despair is not yet ready to experience. While speaking, he stretched out his hand to rub Riko's head. Under the encouragement of Dongtang Aoi, the knotweed revived, and with the cooperation of the two, they began to perform the final curse kill with the real person. Advertisement. P.S. The new book, Comprehensive Man. Opening Saitama Template, Saving the Two-Dimensional Dimension, has been published. If you are interested, you can check it out, or you can find it by searching for Cat Treasure. Advertisement. P.S. A new book will be released around 8 o'clock tonight, and those who are interested can search for the author's name, Maobao, and you should be able to find it. Advertisement. P.S. There is a small problem with the new book, and it will be released tomorrow. The real person was overjoyed the moment he saw the knotweed stick. Advertisement. P.S. The new book has been decided. Zongmin, it is expected to release the book tomorrow, and I implore everyone to support it. Ordinary slashing. Solution. And a deadly split. Adjusted according to the strength of the spell. Absolute assimilation.